friend, where are you? Found you hiding here in the near clear blue.
He's been cited by Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, Benny Johnson, Timcast, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, and even the United States government.
Hey, the Pro Show is on.
Awesome! Let's turn it on.
Guys? Where'd you go?
Morty, let's check in on Ryan Johnson's new trilogy.
Okay.
I bypassed the compressor.
What did you do, Ray?
Son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. Okay? They get over it. Kids are resilient like that.
Yeah. I hate it.
It's the standard, what would George do?
I don't want you here.
So sorry, George, I didn't think it would go like this.
Fly, you fools.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Weird.
Stay away from liquor, kids.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Cowabunga!
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
The Force will be with you, always.
That's how winning is done.
I am vengeance. I am the night.
That's what she said.
I am Batman.
If I won tonight, I would come home and we'd celebrate. Well, I'm coming home, we're celebrating. God bless you all.
Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become.
It's scooping time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 2 minutes, the lighting at the Magic Kingdom will dim for the performance of the Pro Show. We hope you enjoy and have a magical, truthful time. For the safety of others, please, no flash photography. And welcome to Provision 3D.
All right, everyone, put on your coffee glasses.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
You know that you've been taught the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yes, Paul.
Autobots, roll out.
I'm bringing the party to you.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
Chicken jockey.
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man.
Are you okay?
They'll never take our freedom.
From the redwoods of California to the hills of Tennessee to the Rockies and the Sunshine State and Maine with that bright and shining sea. From coast to coast in North America, it's time for your host with the most, bringing you all the entertainment news that should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the WDW Pro Show!
Well, it's Monday. We're back again.
It's Monday, boys and girls, let's party! It's Monday, boys and girls, let's party!
And party we shall. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the inspiration for Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus from about 15 years ago. Lauren Connor is with us tonight. Lauren, it's a party every time we get to be together, buddy.
You know, I had a real partying kind of day myself today.
Really?
Yeah.
Party at Lauren's house.
Yeah. You know what I was doing?
Tell us, please.
I was actually taking and giving a hydrogen peroxide soak to my apple tree roots so that I could break down the lignins and clone them.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things.
For those of you who don't know, Lauren Connor is clearly a man who watched Culture Casino take a Q&A session earlier today on That Park Place, where he was asked about how to purify the saplings of some sort of tree that nobody's ever heard of and nobody cares about. And he proceeded to explain...
You've never heard of an apple tree?
Quit you. That's wizardry. There's no such thing. And he talked about peroxide baths and what's the L word, Lauren?
Lignins, my friend.
Lignins. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we do this to ourselves? It's the same thing Disney must ask themselves every time we go live with another show.
And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down. And the Bob Igers are like, no, what's going on with my stock?
You can choose to feel sorry for yourself. I hope you don't.
All right, folks, we've got a panel of excellence getting ready to go. And you know the crew that shows up on a Monday night, but we've got a surprise, and we can't wait to get to that. Lauren, it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a groovy show. We've got about 400 joining us already across the Tickety Talks, the Instagrammies. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, as they say, south of Tejas. Well, it turns out this is one of the last nights I will be a static, non-moving image. And frankly, I'm happy about that because StreamYard lately has made things blurry. And I'm ready to be crystal clear in 4K, Lauren. And so not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, Pro changes the whole thing, flipping the script once again, and I will be on camera, hithermore, hence more, therefore, and all beyond. So into infinity we go on camera as we have to battle back now the AI stuff on YouTube. We're willing to go on camera to make sure that the channel thrives, survives, and continues to jive in a way that the Hollyweirds can't stand. How's that, Lauren? Did we rhyme enough on that?
I think you're good.
Thanks, pal. So get ready, folks. It's the 27th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Pro turns on the camera for the very first time. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we need to do a programming notice this Thursday at 10 p.m. 10 p.m., Lauren. The Mandalorian and Grogu review live. 7 years since Star Wars, this Thursday at 10 p.m. And I want people to understand the logistics of this. The theater where I will be going to see the film, first showing is at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Now, there's 30 minutes of previews, Lauren. And that means with a 2-hour film, it should end at almost exactly 9:30 p.m. Eastern. At which point I will run, I will sprint, I will force leap my way across the old ladies who are trying to use their mobility devices to leave the theater. I will leapfrog them in a single bound, and I will get out of town, run out of Dodge, and get back into the studio as fast as I possibly can to start the show.
So this is interesting because I don't know if I have a Thursday preview because I was planning to see it Friday.
I am not planning on you being there, Lauren, for the live stream Thursday night.
You what?
I cannot bear the thought of spoiling this film before you've seen it. I can't do that to you. So I need you to make me a promise. Lauren Connor, I've never asked this of you before. I need you to not even watch the show Thursday night. Just you. Everybody else, I want, listen, triple, quadruple the viewership, but just you, Lauren.
Well, the interesting thing is I've already sort of been semi-spoiled on the movie because we had a blabbermouth in our back channels talking about it earlier in the week. So
really? Somebody's giving away what happens?
Well, at least some of it. I have been partially spoiled already.
There's a lot of not, I think, that's in the movie. How's that?
Yeah, I kind of got that impression as well.
Now, the minute it looks like there's gonna be trouble, we got to nip it! Nip it in the bud!
Rather than nip it, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the channel some of your favorites. It's Marv, Steph, My Nerdy Home, and Andy Masterson. That's right. And the Wiz will be here soon as well. Welcome to you all.
Good evening.
Way too close to Marv.
What's going on?
Good. You know what? Actually, here we'll just. Is that better?
I feel safer now.
Okay.
I feel like I'm not going to get cut.
Comfort levels have increased. All right, folks, we've got a great show for you. But before we go into the news, let's hit it, because you help us win it every single time. The dream to stream comes true because of you, and the superstars are already out there in the chat. And yes, Patrick, I see those wonderful gifted memberships. We'll get to them in just a second. Kaylee for 5. End of sizzle nears. Celebrate with Whizzle. On Kathleen as it fizzles. Earnings and drizzles. Audience interest forever. Behold, the 4 seasons are upon us. Kaylee, we received a massive super chat, okay? I just want to clarify this. We received a huge super chat that said we would never play the 4 seasons of the Sizzle together ever again on the channel. So I can't go back on that. And also, we did that while the Critical Drinker was here. Do you know that the risk we took to play all 4 seasons while Drinker was sitting on the panel going, what the heck am I seeing? But folks, we never miss a Michael Scott opportunity, ever.
It's a super spring spritzel. Pedro's big year has Disney dropping. It's a super spring spritzel. Take down Star Wars, Avengers, oh please. They picked the wrong people. Even Bree said, nah, woke is collapsing. Theater snapping. It's a super spring spritzel. Oh, spring spritzel. Switch to Ryan Gosling.
Now, I see all the people out there in the chat who are saying, no, and I don't want to hear it from a single one of you tonight. All the respect in the world to the chat, every single one of you, we appreciate you. But you all clicked on a Kathleen Kennedy Handmaid's Tale thumbnail. So there's no excuse. You know what you're in for. Patrick is here for 5.
This is such a weird Pedro week it's going to be. My God.
Isn't it? Listen, I could have done another Pedro Pascal Grogu thumbnail, but I told Steven, the greatest thumbnail artist on YouTube, I said, Steven, we got to break it up. Give me Kathleen in a Handmaid's Tale, and we'll run with that.
I've
Patrick
put
for
something
5.
in motion.
Yes. Good evening from stormy Kansas. Had a bunch of severe thunderstorms and a few tornadoes. That's right, folks. Everybody stay safe out there in Tornado Alley. We're wishing the best for you. And if you're listening to the Pro Show, also keep your ears in tune with what your local meteorologists are telling you. Juliet for 2, morning pro panel and pro rides. Good morning, Juliet. Packing protons for 5. The Jones Files comic now has a new issue #1 cover. As seen in the profile pic, it's on the way. Okay, I'm looking at that very closely. You know, that reminds me of the arcade game. What's the arcade game where it's all hand-drawn? Where you have
Dragon's Lair.
Yes, that reminds me of the Dragon's Lair. What's Don's? Don Bluth?
Bluth, yeah.
Yeah, that art style. That's really, really cool.
It's really good,
all right.
Yeah.
We've got Pastor of Muppets out there in the chat, member for 21 months. Are you going to talk Rhonda versus Gina? 17 seconds into the match, and Gina taps. Not really a surprise to me, as much as I wanted Gina to win. A pure striker has an uphill battle against a technical fighter.
I'll tell you what, Wizard and I were streaming during the fight, and I knew there was a problem during the entrances when like Gina came out and she was like, you know, happy and like energetic and smiling. Rhonda came out and there was an event horizon behind her eyes. Like there was just no one home. Like she had serial killer eyes, and I was like, uh-oh. Because that was when I realized Gina's out here to have a fight. Rhonda's out here to reclaim her legacy and like make a point. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
Now, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. It makes purists angry at me. But I have worked, and very few people, except a few of the panelists, may know some of the stuff that I've worked on in the past. But I have been involved in sports and working at high levels, I would say, in that kind of industry, you would never see the Super Bowl have the kind of audience it has if there was a possibility the Super Bowl could end in 17 seconds. Now, is it true that if you knock somebody out, you just knocked them out and that's game over? Sure. But I think that if professional fighting is ever going to expand beyond what it is, I think that you have to have systems in place that guarantee some length, some duration to the best of your ability. You're never going to get that right because the chance of a KO. Mm-hmm. But I think that's a deficiency when it comes to advertisers. And I think that the 90% of people who tuned in for the first time when it was over in 17 seconds, I think a lot of those newbies who were just tuning in for Gina said, what happened? What happened? Is that, and somebody else who knew what was going on said, oh, it's over. Oh, it's over? I waited 2 hours for it to be over?
You remember you remember what it was like to watch a Tyson fight back in the day? Like you'd spend, $60, $70 to buy a Tyson fight and he'd knock the guy out in 30 seconds. Yep.
And I listen, I understand that, and there's no way to continue, of course, after that. I mean, you can't unless you want to go to survival mode. It's like, all right, anybody out in the crowd want to hop in with this guy now? Like,
well, so honestly, Pro, what you're talking about right now is the reason why professional wrestling was created. Yeah. It was because they had fighting, like wrestling stuff at carnivals, and they were like, hey, some of these matches are ending way too fast, or they're not crowd pleasing. Why don't we just pretend a little bit, and then we'll tell a little story in there. We'll get people invested in it, and that's how pro wrestling started as a carnival sideshow attraction, and now it's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise.
The other thing is too, when I say this kind of stuff, people jump to we turn it into a binary thing where people take it to the other length and say, well, pro wants it to be just tickle fight so we can go 9 rounds, and it's like, no, there's a solution that I'm not going to think of, and I'm not going to work through it because it's not that kind of show. We're not a sports show, but there's a happy middle ground solution where you try to give people as much fight as you can, and that's what people are showing up for, right?
I want to make an argument that I think you could probably make more on pay-per-view if it was a tickle fight.
Gina versus Ronda tickle fight. Shut up, Lauren. That's brilliant. The Jim Reaper for 199. Can I just tell you, I don't want Ronda Rousey to tickle me. I imagine that's painful.
I would imagine she does it with a Russian accent. You know what? She's like, tickle, tickle, tickle.
She's broken my ribs. Why?
Nielsen.
Why my ribs? Jim Reaper for 199, power to the Niners. And I love this super chat so much. May 27th, Pro dresses up as Doomcock.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know how funny that would be?
You would break the internet because everybody already thinks you're the same person.
I'd get a phone call from Doomcock later saying, not cool, man. But it would be really, really funny.
You went to all the trouble. If you went to all the trouble to get the mask made and everything like that, then again, you could just raid the Marvel warehouse for where they keep the She-Hulk costumes.
From the center of the earth.
Remember when they did that when they made those Doomcock masks for She-Hulk?
That's right. Well, it was always me, wasn't it? All right. Thank you. That would be funny. All right. We got Patrick out there dropping 10 wonderful WDW Pro memberships and making the Disney company cry once again.
Please, sir, may I have more pro memberships?
What?
God bless us, everyone!
Also, Photon out there for $49.99.
Nice,
$49.99. Photon says, Lorne is to watch Highlander 2 this Thursday instead of this show.
Not bloody likely. I still have a bet writing on it though. I can't actually watch it in any case because there's a standing bet between Pro and myself.
You lucky dog.
For some amount of money, although I don't know that we ever actually determined what that amount of money was.
You constructed this for your own benefit for years of being able to refuse to watch this.
Lord is not a stupid man. Whereas if I lose the bet, I am forced to watch all of the Highlander content, which, believe me, is not something I wish to do. But that is how confident I am that my side of the bet is the right side.
By the way, Photon, I don't know if you've been on watching the show live when we've done this before, but I just want to say one more time, final time, but I think I have your ear now. Thank you publicly. I have told people without saying the amount, because I want that to remain private. I'm sure you do as well. But the amount that you gave for the charity event for the Wilton Legacy was truly, truly appreciated and heartwarming. And from everybody here on this channel, we want to say thank you. By the way, folks, for the Wilton Legacy, we raised more than $2,000 for a family that lost a mother and whose son is in serious condition. And you all did that. We try 2 or 3 times a year now to do a charity stream, and we so appreciate all of you. Bruce Newhouse for $1.99. There's really only one way to say this. Pedro. All right, thank you. And we've got another guest waiting in the wings, but before we bring the fella in, folks, if you had a bad Monday, if you're out there fighting the winds in the Midwest, let me just tell you, at least you were not stranded in Tejas on a roller coaster in Six Flags. Look at this. Look at the fear. And then there's the happy Six Flag guy with the vest and the pink hard hat. Of course it's a pink hard hat. What else would you need, right? And all these poor people, terrified out of their minds, walking down the ginormous Six Flags roller coaster. So Disney, at least this didn't happen to you this time, right? At least it didn't happen to you.
Which
Six
Flags?
This one's Texas. Hang on a second. Let's zoom back out again and see if it'll tell us. Power outage at Six Flags of the week in Dallas, Texas TV. Which one is that? Do you guys know?
I think that one's Six Flags over Texas.
Well, that makes sense, eh?
I think.
It would be odd if it was
the San Antonio Six Flags Fiesta. That one's Fiesta, Texas.
Yeah, it would be kind of odd if it was Dallas covering Six Flags over North Dakota. I'm not sure if there's one of those, but what is this here? What is this? C Cube Official says Wizard Raid. That sounds way cooler than the other way it could go, right? Fake Raid.
Commander Cody, the time has come, homie. Execute Order 66. I'm still alive, motherfucker.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, the help has arrived.
You know, I'm here despite Steph yelling at me on my own stream that I was defending Pedro Pascal.
I'm putting you next to her. I'm putting you next to her now, just knowing that.
Yeah.
Good, you can get cut.
I did.
This is interesting.
I was.
Giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt.
No.
Being,
wow.
You know, I see a little guy who might be in over his head, and then I was corrected. You know, he might be insidious.
Steph and I put our feud aside to like join forces against you in that moment.
We sure did.
I don't know.
So I don't know the story though. In what way were you defending him? I'm curious.
I think he's a little in over his head sometimes. I don't know if he is as bad. Like, not to say that what he does isn't bad, but I don't know if is there malice involved? That's my argument. Is there maliciousness?
I think Pedro's kooky.
Pascal?
I think he's kooky.
He's kooky.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say he's an idiot.
Right. I think if you sat down with Pedro and he started, like if you wanted to have a conversation with him and he pulled out a plastic cookie for a 5-year-old and started eating it, you'd just be like, yep, I can see that.
I don't think he's kooky. I think he's
spooky.
He's feisty. I think
Chinese.
I think he's
zesty?
a feisty.
Is
words I can't
zesty?
say
Zesty?
on this channel.
Wearing that Grogu cologne. All right, 2 more super chats, then we got to get to it, folks. We got lots of news to cover and short time to get there. We'll do it, though, like Smokey. Here we go, Kaylee for 5. Here we are, born to be kings. Lauren is the prince of the Ringiverse. Here we belong as Marvin fights to survive in a world with his reporting powers. I feel this is probably a song that I'm instantly supposed to sing, but I can't match it.
I could do it. Here we are, born to be kings. Lorne is the prince of the Ringiverse. It's the Highlander theme.
Really?
Yeah.
Lauren, do you know this song well?
No, I'm sure I heard it
will.
when I watched the first stupid movie.
Can we
But
find a way to pump this into his household against his will? Can we park a truck outside?
Well, I have to drive him for several hours.
You will not. You will absolutely not.
Let's just say if there's a flower.
I will arrive with your car, and people will be asking, "Where's Marv?" I'll say, "I don't know."
1-800-Flowers van outside your house, just playing that nonstop. Patrick Getaway for 5. My stock in Leidos lost over $25 the past month, and it's still worth more than Disney. And we got Good Time Charlie for 5. Georgia film tax credits are the wealthy elite stealing from working class Georgians. Libs and rhinos are equally guilty. Thanks for reporting on it, Pro. No, you're exactly right. It is a full-blown, in my view, I'll put the qualifier, in my view, and I'm allowed to have one of those, full-blown corruption ring in Atlanta. I have often told people I don't want to, if you love Atlanta, if you live in Atlanta, I'm not trying to be rude to you, but man, folks, is that city corrupt in the political realm. It is so corrupt. All right, well, it's time to get started, and, it drives me crazy, again, looking over at the live feed and seeing that I'm fuzzy. Not with a beard. Okay, I do have a beard in real life, but seeing the Pro avatar fuzzy in a way that it didn't used to be. But StreamYard continues to give us troubles, and Wiz, we're going to fix that by going on camera with, May 27th. So not this Wednesday, but the next. Wiz, before I do such a thing, before I go on camera, you, sir, you're out there every day looking particularly well, right?
Oh.
Yes. I mean, you're not faking it, man. You come on with that glow, with that aura, the Gen Zers envy every day. What are your tips, Wiz, for someone going on camera for the first time? How should we do this?
Don't wear glasses that are big, because then you get the reflection of your lights in the glasses, and that's extremely unprofessional.
That's a good point. That's a good point. We would never do such a thing as have reflections that show off ring lights. That's right. Perhaps 2 of them directly in front of you.
Yeah.
With the ability, if you're on a large screen as I am, to literally see the StreamYard screen in his glasses over his pupils. We would never do such a thing.
I also think you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's a really bad a single ring light in front of Marv, though. Yep.
It is extremely unprofessional to do that.
And Andy says, guys, I'm a pro. I know what I'm doing over here.
I'm a pro with excellent eyesight.
By the way, I see Andy with the can. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do something that will make me a habit around here. He's got the A&W. I've got a matcha. Matcha, man. Fake Wiz, I got a matcha. What you got, Wiz?
I have, I was just explaining off camera that Cherry Coke Zero Sugar is better than Pepsi Coke, Pepsi Cherry Zero Sugar. I can't believe I had a hard time saying that, but yeah,
I
the Coke version's better.
There you go. Steph, what are you drinking tonight?
I have a tea concoction that I made.
All right, and Lauren?
Water.
I opted for the root
beer. Nerd alert.
And thank you, Culture, for the rut beer. All right, folks, it's time. Click it and sip it. Click that like button. You might smash it and take a sip of your drink. Don't smash that one. 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
It's in honor of Scott Adams, folks. We're going to make it our own. I think it's a wonderful thing. All right, let us know in the chat. What are you drinking? What's your beverage? And it's time, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to the very first story. The mainstream media, they all want to report on that sequel trilogy scoop we gave to you on May 3rd and then took off like a rocket all across the internet, but they don't want to say who it is who said the thing first. Out of that Park Place, from Trevor Denning, Star Wars sequel trilogy scoop goes viral, but the media hides the original source, and it's true, folks. It's poor little Pro again. In an exclusive report published on that Park Place, May 3rd, Hollywood scoopador WDW Pro claimed that Lucasfilm is considering massive changes to the Star Wars continuity. The report was based on information from inside sources, observation at Disneyland's Galaxy's Edge Park, and analysis of streaming data for Star Wars-related projects. I will also add, as we go through this a little bit, that Lauren, you and Jonas assisted me behind the scenes as we talked about this stuff and tried to vet out, did we believe this might be true? Were the pieces adding up? And I talked to you and said, what do you think about this? And so this was a real team effort behind the scenes. The rumor quickly spread online through fan forums, social media, and coverage from major entertainment outlets. Many of the reactions were negative and sparked widespread debate. However, not every outlet appears to be giving credit where credit is due. And let me tell you, it's quite a few. It says in a May 5th article, Tom Bacon, that's a cool last name. Makes me hungry just saying it. Tom Bacon at comicbook.com referenced the Geeks and Gamers article, but made no reference to that Park Place or Poor Pro, while calling the rumors of a Star Wars reset YouTube rage bait. Of course, we didn't yet have the photos of the Lucasfilm execs. We didn't yet have confirmation that Ahsoka was being delayed significantly, probably reshoots. And now things are starting to change, right? And also said Lucasfilm appears prepared to double down on the sequels. I'm sure they are. Let's see. We've got coverage of the Star Wars rumors shifted noticeably over the following days. A May 12th report from CBR by Nicholas Brooks noted, much like the original That Park Place article, that story expansions at Galaxy's Edge could signal the sequel trilogy is no longer a primary or even secondary focus. But was that its own report? No credit to us. That's fine. That's A-OK. The following day, it says, Tom Phillips at IGN published an article speculating that the second season of Ahsoka may further explore the world between worlds. Wonder where they got that? Mm-hmm. He wrote that fans are wondering how Ahsoka might introduce new kinds of storytelling opportunities in future for the franchise. And this article goes on, folks, to explain that all of a sudden, as time went on and the stuff started leaking out, these other outlets started reporting some of the same stuff, but it was their leaks, blah, blah, blah. Now, before I go to Marv to ask about this, I do want to give a shout out to Doomcock. Because years ago, Doomcock was reporting on a rumor that he had heard about the use of the world between worlds. Now, the rumor that we're reporting on in the last couple of weeks is a little bit different because we're essentially reporting that the executives at Disney don't care how this happens. They just want to make money. And the sequel trilogy, they decided, is an impediment to them making money. But I want to give credit to Doomcock. I don't want to be like these outlets and say, well, we never heard that. I think Doomcock has been very prescient in some of this stuff, and so well played to him. Marv, I want to go to you first, though. When we do articles like this on That Park Place, and it's very rare that we do them with an intentionality. And so, there are some out there who might say that, what we're trying here is ego stroking or something like that. The reality is, in a world that's driven by AI, we recognize that if we don't go out there and make this kind of clarity, the AI will start reporting things from IGN and all this other stuff, and we kind of get swallowed up by the cacophony of all these reports that look similar, but they're not quite the same. Mm-hmm. And the other danger, too, is if we're not very clear, people will start to say, oh, well, Pro, he said X, Y, and Z. And it's like, no, that was IGN, or that was this other thing. It's not us at all. So, Marv, walk us through what you think's happening with the mainstream media, and then we'll get to what just happened with the Hollywood Reporter and Geeks and Gamers. Marv, what's going on here as they try to report on something that's clearly very popular, mm-hmm. but they don't want to say our names?
Well, I mean, you look at how popular that article we did on Geeks and Gamers was about this. What was it, Steph? 30 million impressions on X, something like that. Mm-hmm. Because people want this to be true. They hate the sequel trilogy that much. It is so despised. But yes, it is. The new media has to defend itself because the mainstream Hollywood access media will try to chew up and spit out things that originate in the new media because they don't respect it. And they'll try to repurpose it. They'll try to turn it into something that serves their purposes. And you have to, every once in a while, stand up and say, no, like, you're wrong. That was ours, and we did that. And, you're wrong to not cite where citation is due. We will always make sure to cite, Deadline when they have an exclusive, or the Hollywood Reporter when they have an exclusive, or I will even cite Variety, despite the fact that I despise it with everything that I am, whenever they have something that is an exclusive to them. It's just journalistic, I guess integrity. It's a tip of the hat. It's obviously.
I think we have to have a reasonable defense, right? I think that because what they do is they send this tsunami of coverage, but they don't tell people where it came from. And the other thing, you're exactly right, Marv, on how interested people are in this being true. One of the things that we talked about before we released this, and Lauren, I'll go to you on this one, because you were there as we talked about how we were going to present this and what we could and could not say according to the sources. One of the things that we had to be very careful about, and this is still rumor, I mean, it's still talking about a future product. We don't know exactly how this plays out. But Lauren, you and I talked about not being the tail that wags the dog. Because what can happen is, if we put out a rumor and it's so darn popular, Disney executives may say, well, my gosh, this is clearly what people want. And then suddenly the prophecy comes true through that. So we have to be cognizant of that. I don't know if that's good or bad. What are your thoughts on the way that plays?
Well, the opposite is also true, which is that if we are too close to what their internal intentions are, it could cause them to veer off and choose to do something different so that the appearance isn't made that they are doing what we suggest they could do. So this kind of story is always weird because we are basing this off of some internal sourcing from people that have knowledge that is coming from inside.
Allegedly.
But there is also speculation that's involved. We're trying to connect the dots to figure out how would you go about doing this if you were going to do so. And I feel like sometimes the audience is focusing on the speculation as though this is what we are saying is going to happen. That's not the case. What we are saying is that they know there's a problem. They know they need to course correct. They are in the middle of making their plans to course correct. And then we are speculating about what that could mean and how they would go about doing it. Their actions on the ground are showing that they are making changes. What the result of those changes will be is yet to be seen.
Yeah, and I would say, too, that we could not have planned anything regarding this timing. There's just no way we could have done it. There's no way I could have predicted that 12 hours later that Nielsen would come out and, throw the sequel trilogy under the bus big time. There's no way that I could have known that hours after that, the photo would leak of all the top Disney executives flying to San Francisco to meet with Lucasfilm. And there's no way I could have known that a few days after that, Ahsoka would be delayed. I mean, just the number of dominoes that started falling. And we did say, when we did the stream and when we broke this down, I said, we have to get this out here before May 4th, because I'm afraid if we don't, we'll be late. And man, was that right, because we did a special Sunday night stream that we never do. And we did it, and we had massive attendance and all that kind of stuff. And that, I don't know if you want to call it luck. I don't know if you want to call it, just understanding this game after we played it for so long, but very important that we did what we did when we did it.
I do want to call out a particular comment here that I see in the chat, which is Joey After Midnight saying they credibly can't afford to course correct. They should just stop moving. It's dead. Stop beating it. Here's the issue. They credibly can't afford not to course correct. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to discard and get rid of the sequel trilogy, but they must shift tonally and change the focus and stop talking about the sequel trilogy. The Star Wars right now is very nearly a completely dead brand, which is the most dangerous place that it could possibly be because people don't care anymore. The Mandalorian and Grogu is showing that. The fact that Disney top brass turned up at Lucasfilm headquarters should be sending a pretty clear signal that the people who count are telling them, you're going to fix this.
Now, I will say, I have one hope for Star Wars. Okay, and I'm not going to make the New Hope joke here. Wiz, I see the look on your face, and I'm kind of delayed in where I was intending to go. I'll get to the Hollywood Reporter thing in just a second, and it's a big, big deal, and I'll explain why in just a second. But Wiz, before I go there, I'm surprised at how angry people still are towards Disney and Lucasfilm and Star Wars. We've been doing nonstop coverage because I believe in making content that audiences want. It's been my observation, audiences want us to talk about how badly The Mandalorian is going to do. And I suspect that's because, unlike many franchises, we're still not in apathy. And that shocks me. I thought we were in apathy, but people are still angry at what was done to this franchise.
Because you know what it is? It's a matter of justice because people feel like they've been wronged a little bit. It's also a matter of accountability. And I think that's where it is more so than the justice angle. It's people want accountability for the media. They want accountability in politics. They want accountability in business. They want to know that people are being held accountable for taking advantage of other people. And that goes across in every different direction. But you know what, Pro, the point that you've been making through this is, they're kind of downplaying the scoop that you've got. And what we're going to show in a second is they're downplaying another story from one of the panel here. But I have a quote here from somebody, because it's not just Star Wars where this happens. Here you go. I'm going to read this. If you send me links from Geeks and Gamers or any other Gamergate adjacent sites, I'm going to laugh at you and disregard it as misinformation.
I think I know who that is.
You can do much better than those outlets. And that is coming, of course, from Khalif Adams, who is an influencer who likes to downplay anything and everything that we say. And this guy is somebody in gaming. This is a guy who wears a Project Helix sweatshirt, which is the inside story, which is the inside project for the upcoming Xbox thing. The point being is they don't like being held accountable. Nobody does, whether it be Star Wars, gaming, entertainment, animation, Pixar, Disney, doesn't matter where it is. It's across the board. And that's what we do. That's what we try to do. We try to hold them accountable. And that's why people care. That's why people keep paying attention. People keep tuning in, because they want to know, are you going to get them this time? Do you have something to really stick it to them for what they did to the things that I care about? Are we getting the justice? Are we holding them accountable? Are people being paraded out and being fired yet? Because that's what people really want to see.
You know what they're angry about, Wiz? They're angry because for the 27th time, there'll be an article talking about The Acolyte Season 2 should happen. And it'll get 100 views. And listen, I'm on the side of it. Give me Acolyte Season 2. I need another garage, all right? I will name it. I will name said garage after Amandla if we can just get one. But they get 100 views, and what they're mad about is whether this rumor comes true or not. We're talking about something, decisions will happen behind the scenes going forward. Whether it comes true or not, there's no denying the number that you see center stage, bottom of that screen. Almost 26 million views on this alone, not to talk about the follow-up posts and everything else. 26 million people interested in the idea of the sequel trilogy going away. All right, let's talk about the Hollywood Reporter for a minute, because things, they are changing. This just came out today. Disney under fire over staged Pedro Pascal Mandalorian fan encounter. From James Hibbert, it says the Mandalorian Grogu star seemingly stunned a group of Disneyland tourists on Smuggler's Run, but things weren't exactly how they appeared. Here's what happened. Now, folks, you know we've covered this on the Pro Channel. We've covered this on That Park Place and Geeks and Gamers. But the Hollywood Reporter now catching on to this. Where did they catch? How did they find out? Why would the Hollywood Reporter, whose job it is to defend the Mandalorian, why would they even know about this? Well, hang on. It seemed like one of those perfectly executed viral marketing moments that Disney does so well. Pedro Pascal, disguised as his Mandalorian character, surprises a group of unsuspecting tourists at Disneyland as they were about to board the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run ride. In the viral clip released Sunday, viral, sure, Pascal removes his helmet and the tourists go wild, cheering with shock and excitement at the unexpectedly seen the Mandalorian Grogu actor. Disney's Instagram caption read, Pedro Pascal creates the surprise of a lifetime at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. Except the jaw-dropping tourists weren't exactly a random group. As quickly spotted by online sleuths. That's me and Valiant, Marvin, Lauren. The revelation has led to some backlash against the studio, which has leaned heavily on influencers in recent years to generate hype ahead of releases. One fan site wrote, quote, the backlash surrounding the Pedro Pascal Disneyland stunt taps directly into a growing problem for Disney. Audiences no longer trust the company's marketing. Well, what would that little fan site be? That's this article, written by that guy, right down there, Marvin Montanaro. Geeks and Gamers, Disneyland Pedro Pascal fan surprise immediately exposed as influencer marketing stunt.
So we were live on Culture Crossfire and reading that Hollywood Reporter article, and I saw the quote, and I said, Wizard, click that link, because I hadn't heard, I didn't know this yet. But I recognized it because I wrote it today, and those were my words. And I'm like, those words came from these hands. And he clicked it, and I was just like, I cannot believe this just happened.
And I want to say I want to say it this way too. And congratulations, Marv. I mean, this is amazing. What's happening with Geeks and Gamers in That Park Place. We joined forces just a few months ago, right? And since that time, now the Hollywood Reporter is citing Geeks and Gamers, and you all know the Hollywood Reporter is not inclined to be a fan of something like Geeks and Gamers. But why are they doing that? Because who's getting this stuff first? Who's figuring out the lighting angles and saying, wait a minute. There are professional lighting rigs for the lighting to go in this direction and that direction.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're up to. We're figuring this stuff out, and we are now leading, even if they don't want to say our names, even if they won't say, again, folks, look, they won't say Geeks and Gamers, but they'll link to Geeks and Gamers.
Site. Yeah. By the way, Hollywood Reporter, loath am I to correct your reporting, but we are not a fan site. We are a legitimate news organization.
That's right.
That, competes with you. But I would personally just like to congratulate the Hollywood Reporter for finally citing a legitimate source in one of their articles. So, I think they're really coming up in the world.
Steph, what do you think about the way that Geeks and Gamers and that Park Place, that everything is starting to shift in the new media, and now we're leading what the legacy media does, even if they don't want to say the names of the people doing the real work?
They don't want to say the names. That's why they linked it as, a fan site. They want to delegitimize where they're getting this information from and call it just a fan site. Oh, it's just this little tiny fan site over there. It's to delegitimize it. And they're actually the ones that are bringing you the real news. The Hollywood Reporter, Variety, they would kill to have those kinds of impressions, like the 26 million impression. They would kill to have that kind of activity on their site. And they're not. Nobody's going to their site, and the reason is because people just don't trust the mainstream media anymore, because they know that they get these scoops from Hollywood, and it's to further a specific agenda. And with Geeks and Gamers, with that Park Place, we're just giving you the news as we see it. They're just delivering the news as you see it. They're seeing through all of the Hollywood BS. And yeah, as far as what Wizard said, I mean, it is 100% holding people accountable, calling all of this stuff out. And yeah, I mean, look at all of that. Look at that.
Now you be nice.
Likes,
they
11 likes, 747 impressions.
It's hard to get 11 likes these days, okay? This is not easy, all right? They got 7 on Mandy Moore.
Hey, our article with Pedro Pascal kissing Colbert hit 1 million impressions.
Yeah, a little fan site.
Little tiny fan site. And but here's the thing. Our article on this, on the influencer thing, I mean, it did well. I think it had a couple thousand impressions, but it did not get 26 million impressions the way that other one did. That means the Hollywood Reporter saw this because they're watching us.
And they should.
Absolutely. They've always kept tabs. And I think that they're infuriated because, Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, Critical Trigger, all of these sites, that Park Place, these are all the people that they've been fighting against. These are all the toxic people that they've been fighting against for years and years and years. And how dare they do better?
Steph, that Critical Drinker interview with Andy Weir, changed the industry for a little bit.
Yes.
I mean,
well, not even just that one. Look at what Critical Drinkers, interview with Andy Weir. Look at Nick Shirley's independent reporting.
Oh, yeah.
How that's turned the entire country on its head.
Yeah. They're leering every day. Leering every day from
here,
that.
and they're terrified of it.
Andy, I'm going to give you the final word on all of this. You've been watching over the last 2 years as the new media has taken the lead. The first time that we really saw this was Joe Rogan hosting the then presidential candidates. At that time, former President Donald Trump and Vice President candidate J.D. Vance. He hosted them on the Joe Rogan Experience and had more views for those 2 episodes than ABC's presidential debate. And in my opinion, that was the beginning of this, and it's continuing. And outlets like that Park Place, Geeks and Gamers, all of the channels in this orbit really are starting to take the lead, and the legacies are following what we're reporting. And exactly right, Marv. They're coming here to figure out what the headlines for tomorrow should be. Andy, where does this go? Is this going to continue on without conflict, or do we get into a little bit of a rift with them in ways that we haven't yet seen?
A couple things. I think you really have to be careful now about the something that had been circulating around in the background with Doomcock stuff about how many things are being planted falsely.
Yep.
To try and find it to mislead people. We were all familiar with the Kathleen Kennedy is going to get fired rumors. I think the bigger mystery is how Kathleen Kennedy wasn't fired earlier. You can't lose billions and billions of dollars and not have that kind of accountability. I think that a lot of the Wall Street people, that the money makers, they would just listen to somebody who would tell them And it's sort of like you finally get around to the truth coming out and like, hey, wait a second. These guys that you trashed were right all along. They were saying this stuff all along, and it's come back to bite them. The legacy media. They've done this to themselves. Their credibility is shot. I mean, look at how many times they've announced new Lucasfilm projects that have never ever come to fruition, and yet they look at the fan sites and the new media, and how many times everyone has been correct, everyone has been right. We had our friend Gary had very close personal friends of his who were acting on the set of The Mandalorian, reporting things that were going on the set, but at the time they were under NDAs and they couldn't speak about it. So truth eventually comes out. They can try and bury it as much as they want. You're kind of limited to how many ways you could retcon this and change it, but clearly it has to happen. So one of these things is going to happen with it. The legacy media, the people that don't pay attention very much, that just watch headlines, that don't do what we do and absorb this stuff, they're not really paying attention. They don't care very much. They're not the ones going to go see Mandalorian Grogu because it doesn't say Star Wars in it. It doesn't say something to them like, oh yeah, I recognize this. This is only for people that have watched the show, maybe some younger kids. The best we can hope for is it's going to be inoffensive. But the media has been running cover, and it's become blatantly obvious that they have been doing this. They have been covering up all these things. So to boil that down into what level, if they can try to plant some false narrative out there that gets reported on so they can later go, aha, see, they were wrong. That's the only shot that they've got. But like right now, look what they just did. They got caught lying red-handed with the Pedro stunt there. Like, oh, look, it's completely random. Oh, crap, we forgot. And it's as bad as their writing that they don't stop and think about people asking questions about the plot line. How did this happen? Well, we don't know. We just wanted it to happen. Somehow Palpatine returned. I think...
By the way, real quick, let me show this, Andy, because I don't know, as you were talking about them lying, I don't know that we've shown this on the Pro Show or Pro Channel. This is one of the ladies who was, she's in that picture, and you can see down here, she's with the Grogu purse that's in the picture with Pedro Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
All these other pictures are her on the red carpet. Oh no, they removed the pic. Oh, okay. Well, we've got this one. It's still good enough.
Well, and they got the one with her with the gentleman who, who was one of the rogue pilots in Mandalorian.
Right.
Carson Teva.
Yes.
So they're not even good at this anymore, Andy. I mean, it's not hard to catch them any longer.
Right.
Well, so you've got her, you've got one guy who has a Star Wars YouTube channel with over 60,000 subscribers on it. You have another guy who has a very popular Instagram account that mostly does Star Wars stuff with over 20,000 subscribers on it. These were all influencers. They were all chosen very specifically because they form, the ethnic rainbow that Disney loves in all of their marketing. And Wizard and I were talking about this on Culture Crossfire, and I said, could you imagine if it was Make-A-Wish kids instead of a bunch of Gen Z younger millennials? Like, could you imagine if they brought like a bunch of like needy children or like, Make-A-Wish kids in there and had Pedro Pascal meet them? Like, how much better of a clip that would have been. Like,
We'd be celebrating them today if they did that.
Yeah, 100%. Instead, because here's the thing, influencers have the trust of the people because nobody trusts the Hollywood machine anymore. But Hollywood is trying to turn the influencer economy on its head by now infecting the influencers and giving them the access that they so crave to take control of the influencers. And then the only thing that's going to happen with that is nobody's going to trust influencers anymore because they're going to think they're bought and paid for. And a lot of them are, because you're taking fans of something that they've dedicated their essentially their lives to, and you're inviting them to Hollywood premieres, and you're giving them, cupcakes, and you're giving them gift bags, and you're giving them access, and you're having them meet Pedro Pascal. And, they're not going to put Peepaw in front of actual people. That's never going to happen. Like, because, he's so divisive, somebody might say something to him. Johnny Depp, they threw him out there in the middle of the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, and he greeted actual guests.
And they can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Can't do it anymore. Go ahead, Steph.
What I've learned with influencer marketing is that the reason companies do it is that it's cheaper. It's cheaper. I've seen it influencer marketing in every aspect of entertainment and also, other things. Because I don't also just pay attention to entertainment. I pay attention to a lot of other things. And there's influencers for pretty much everything out there. And it's easier to bring over some influencers and, schmooze them, give them a little gift basket, give them access because, oh my goodness, little old me with however hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, this mega corporation is reaching out to me, really? And so it's easy to get these people, fly them over. It's a lot cheaper, and then they put out however many videos they're contracted to put out on their channel, and they influence all of their millions or hundreds of thousands of fans. And it's cheaper. It's cheaper for these companies to do that. And I've found that like lately, people are just kind of opening their eyes and sort of like turning away from influencers, because after a while they sort of like lose their genuineness,
authenticity.
Their authenticity. They start losing that. So people just stop watching them. But it is cheaper. It's cheaper for, to have these 20 or so fans come out and Pedro surprises them. And then they write an article about it. It's cheaper than marketing.
Right. And look, it's fine to have brand deals as a social media influencer because you're trying out these products and then you're recommending them based on, whether or not you like them. But when you are like being brought out to these Hollywood premieres in the guise of this is a totally, organic and authentic, reaction to something, that is absolutely insane. And it just flies in the face of the trust that people are supposed to put into these people. I'm shocked there wasn't anybody from your, Sarlacc, or any of that kind of like those people, the spit take guy.
It's just like when Doomsday or when Marvel did the same thing with like the Doomsday trailer. We invite the fans out to see the Doomsday trailer, and they're literally like Eric Voss, like out there. It's like, really, these are the people that you're bringing out, YouTubers and influencers. And I saw someone say on like, oh, but you don't understand. We're not told who we're gonna see. Okay, but you're still there to see somebody. You're still there. Right. You're still picked. It's not like a genuine, like, hey, we're just walking around Disney and we decided to pick random people. No. You are still selected because of the following that you have. And we know that we're going to get a big reaction out of you.
And this was almost even more insidious, though, because, you had, they didn't bring out the hundreds of thousands of followers influencers here. They were going with tens of thousands of followers. They were trying to like keep this on the down low. So it wasn't people you were going to instantly recognize, not that they'd ever bring like Star Wars Theory or anything on there, but it's people that, you don't instantly recognize until they start talking.
It's because we have the Shills clip and everybody recognizes them now.
We've played it enough, haven't we?
Well, one on the left there.
Oh, go ahead.
She was at the Acolyte Leslie Headland event, so I recognize her.
Sometimes you got to go back to the greatest hits, right, Wiz?
Well, and the one there in the jean jacket, I recognize her from being in Peacemaker and Orange is the New Black.
Wow, how about that? Folks, it's just so good for the legacy media that we are here looking under the hood every day of how it really works and bringing it to you. So, journalists, if you want to know tomorrow's headlines, stop on by this channel and more. We've got tomorrow's headlines today.
At least that's what I hear.
Wait, what?
Let's go! Jabba, right?
Oh no!
It's a Sarlacc!
Star Wars Outlaws pre-order available now.
Guys, this is one of, if not my most anticipated game of the year. Anything that's got me going pew, 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 sign me up.
I gotta say, the concept of this is enough for me to go, I might even pre-order this.
I might even get my tickets early.
That guy blocked Wizard.
That guy blocked me on Twitter. I've never interacted with him.
The bald guy? The bald guy blocked you?
I might as well pre-order it. Yeah, he blocked me.
You guys should have had an Asian connection. What's going on? Why is he rejecting you? Well, that's just internet rumor. You don't
like an anime character. I'm not one pro.
All
Asian
of this,
Gandalf.
All of this Wizard is Asian stuff will fly out the door when you meet him in person and see how tall he is because they don't make him that big.
Oh, I'm a 7-foot Asian wizard.
Are you not Asian? I thought you were Asian.
You really think he was Asian?
Just wait till you see how black Jonas is.
England, did you?
My Asian wife thought he was Asian. She was like,
Asian.
"Oh, is he Asian?"
I'm Asian.
I never for a second thought you were Asian.
He's Asian. England is out there for 2. Atlanta Corruption Junction. What's your function? Metalcore breakdown for 199. The mainstream media is like Dollar Tree brand cherry soda. Stay away, right? Gas station sushi. Michael Steele for 5. We all know why Ahsoka got delayed. Filoni's wife was upset at the lack of female-centric space witches and kicked him in the jewels. He's redoing it.
You better.
Lauren, the chances it's reshoots, though, looking pretty darn likely, right? Well, that's certainly what I would think. I can't think of another reason why they'd be doing it. It has to be.
The other thing was when we heard that the Mando-Ahsoka crossover thing, and that's supposed to be the movie that wraps up the Thrawn stuff. So when we heard that might be on ice, it was like, man, how many? And we didn't even mention that in the segment before. I mean, it's just so much stuff came out so rapidly.
I have a hunch they're still planning to do that. I think they may
I
have
do too, yeah.
moved it. And I think it may depend on exactly how season 2 of Ahsoka goes. But I think that the reception to The Mandalorian and Grogu has, I mean, as worried as they were after The Acolyte, because I think that's when they slammed everything down, I think they're way more scared now.
I'm going to throw something out there that could get me in trouble, but I've talked about this on the Patreon. Okay? Wait a minute. What is this? Wizard ain't Asian. Oh, come on, guys. He is. Why are you guys doubting it? Anyway, this could get me in trouble.
Ain't Asian.
I've talked about this on the Patreon. I'm not going to go into the detail of the Patreon, but Lauren, I would not be shocked if there's a movie down the road called Star Wars: The World Between Worlds. It would not surprise me. It's the kind of thing that would actually get an audience. It wouldn't surprise me. Would it surprise you at this point? Because I don't think you can name it Ahsoka, Mandalorian, anything. I think whatever you do now has to have other characters that carry Mando and Ahsoka. I think they're both damaged.
I got to tell you, I hope it's got a better title than that.
Come on.
I hated the sequel trilogy titles because they didn't fit with the prequels or the original series titles. It needs to be pulpy. You need to it needs to be a little bit ridiculous.
Okay. Star Wars, like, Return of the Good Stuff.
Well, it's like when does anybody remember how we reacted when we heard the title The Phantom Menace? Everybody went, "What?"
No, I was a child.
Star
so
Wars, the ham sandwich.
Attack of the Clones. It's very cheesy stuff. And that's part of the point. You need to have something that is pulpy, a little bit ridiculous, kind of fun. And after the fact, hopefully, the title feels better after you've seen the movie. When you first hear the title, it shouldn't be boring, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And The World Between Worlds is like labeling it peanut butter.
Star Wars, Kathy's gone. England for 5. Only pro will get this. This is a reference to That Park Place Live today. Is America, we own your Star Wars now. D'America, green milk, not butter beer. Epcot, folks, it's an Epcot reference. Michael Cooley's telling us the stuff that matters. Wow, there's a 3-layer crunch wrap now.
There is.
Folks, get over to Taco Bell as fast as you can. We're not sponsored by them, but we hope we are tomorrow. England for 2. Mandalorian and Grogu, or is that Mango and Grok? I don't know. Could have made $1 billion in 2021, 2022. Disney was late. I said this on VR. I'll say it again. If when they got ready to do the last episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian, if somebody at Disney had said, this is too good to be on Disney Plus, we're going to make this into a movie, add 30 more minutes, and this is going to be a full-blown film, that would have made $1.5 billion. That's how damaged they have made this. Beyond the sequel trilogy, any hopes and dreams that they get it right. England again for 2. Pedro Pascal served me a churro. It was organic, unlike the photo. Kaylee off for 5. I once ate a rabbit chicken taco. Was tasty. Served by an Asian real-life fake wizard as he cooked haggis for me. It was delicious.
What is this show?
Cherry Coke is nasty.
Happened? The chats have turned on me on my own show over here. What's the deal?
I'm trying to process haggis and rabbit chicken tacos. It's disgusting alone, but putting them together?
Rabbits don't deserve such a thing, I'll just tell you.
Lauren's asking the real questions tonight.
Rabbits are born into this world scared. They go out of this world scared. And frankly, I don't think they deserve to go into a haggis. Woofle, the crime dog. member for 14 months. Wasn't there a Harry Potter quote? "You're an Asian wizard." Can you imagine if that had been the line to Harry?
I'm leaving.
"You're an Asian, Harry." It looks even more Asian now. All
Going
right,
out
folks.
to space where I'm safe.
That's why we told you your parents died in a car crash.
It was believable.
Very
They couldn't drive. All right, folks, let's dive in. Disney is facing more pains from the federal government. What do we mean? Well, we'll tell you in, about, according to this interstitial length, 8 seconds. The Walt Disney Company is yet again facing the fire of the federal government. Donald Trump, the President Trump's FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, on the Disney dispute, covered by CNBC, says we have not yet made a final decision. Now, why does this matter? Because the Disney company is facing the ire of the feds over their broadcast license. And it comes down to things like The View and ABC News and whether or not they're being fair according to the guidelines set forth by the U.S. government. We've had discussions about this sort of thing with infamous, or should he be famous around the world, probably both at the same time, Ron Coleman, and he's given his thoughts on it, but this continues on, so we'll play the clip from CNBC starring FCC Chair Brendan Carr. Here's what he had to say about the Diz.
The story that you've been at the center of, Chair Carr, has been around Disney. You recently took the step of calling 8 ABC TV station licenses in for early review. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, this goes back to a DEI investigation. So when I started as chair of the...
Whoa, wait a minute. Marv, this goes back to a DEI investigation. Marv, who was cited in the DEI investigation as the authority. That's right.
Be me.
All right, Marv, what did you do? What did you do, Marv?
So I did a deep dive article on Disney's DEI practices as it pertained to executive compensation bonuses. And the FCC, I guess, thought it was, well sourced enough, Paul Tassi, to, use it as part of their evidence against the Disney company. So yeah, we did kind of get this ball rolling.
I'm trying to get the original article on this. Let's see. Where was that? Okay. No. I've got all the backlash to it. We'll get that. Marv, if you could find that and give me that in the private chat, I'd love to put that up. But I just want everybody.
You want the one about them citing it or the actual?
No, the original one. I want to put the original up. But I just want everybody to know when we pause, Brendan Carr is talking about Marvin. I mean, and we're not making this up. I mean, legitimately, literally, in the FCC, the originating investigation into Disney, thatparkplace.com, Marvin's article is cited. So take that, legacies. Continuing.
FCC, one of the first things we did in the first week was we ended the FCC's own promotion of DEI. I think people will be shocked to learn that the FCC was spending millions and millions of dollars promoting DEI. We had equity action plans, the whole nine. And we've been working to make sure that the companies we regulate don't engage in invidious forms of DEI discrimination, meaning discriminating against people based on their race and gender. We went through a period of time around 2020 where a lot of corporate America went all in on this invidious form of discrimination. We'll see if Disney was one of them. But we've had multiple rounds of subpoenas with Disney. They're producing documents, and Disney will have every opportunity to make its case. But there has been evidence coming to light that aligns with a legal memo DOJ put out last year for private companies that you can't hire and promote based on race and gender. You can't compensate based on race and gender, and you can't provide workplace opportunities based on race and gender. And there's been evidence coming to the light indicating that Disney may have done that. Again, Disney can put in additional information. We haven't made a final decision, but this is an investigation where we will follow it wherever the facts take us.
All right, hold there. Marv, do you have the original article for us?
I am just double checking to see if it's the right one.
So what's interesting about this is when we had Ron Coleman on recently to go through the legal aspect and whether this is constitutional and is the government overstepping, we had heard that this had changed, this had morphed, and that the FCC was investigating the fair and equal time for both sides of the political aisle on their news programs. Now the FCC has gone back to what they cited for us, which frankly is better for us. I appreciate that. But we talked about this before. We didn't know how the FCC could enforce this because it doesn't seem to be under the purview of the FCC. But here we go again. And how interesting is this? Wiz, the reason this is so fascinating is because, as far as I can tell, I'm just a guy, right? I'm just a guy with a fake baseball cap on his head. You're just a fake wizard with a fake beard on your face. Wiz, it looks to me like Disney is caught red-handed. I don't see how they get out of this. I mean, they promoted this stuff. They talked about it. They gave Bob Iger raises based on quotas that seem illegal to me, but maybe I'm just wrong. What do you say, Wiz?
I don't want to use the phrase black-pilled, but Disney's been caught up in this stuff before, and I just don't see anything happening from it, though I want to. You know, it's like, how many times do we have to keep getting into this trouble? And and we've been talking about it for a long time. And look, even the article here is from over a year ago. There's constantly investigations into Disney. We're constantly covering Disney. We're constantly covering and talking about the bad things that Disney does as a company. And the government has investigated some of these things. And yet somehow they're always able to skirt around it. And that's just my positioning here. I think nothing's going to happen, and I certainly don't trust this administration to do anything about it.
All right.
So this was the article that was cited in the FCC filing, which is where we talk about the fact that they had removed their Reimagine Tomorrow and Stories Matter websites, but they redirected to belonging initiatives in these DEI changes. I also have in the back our initial report on the SEC filing, where diversity was listed as a skill, which went actually, if you scroll down in this article, you can see it because I do have a screenshot of that SEC filing in this article that you have.
Okay, let's go down to the SEC filing.
Yeah, right there. Go up, back up.
Okay, that's not it.
Right there.
This is it?
Yep.
Oh, that's the picture. That's the picture of the quota system.
Yes, I mean, that's where diversity is listed as a skill. What did you want the actual? That's not what you were looking for.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, because diversity is listed down as a skill and experience.
This is a chart from Disney's SEC filing that we pulled out and put out, and apparently got the attention of the FCC. Now, I think it's interesting that Wiz, you're just a bit of a curmudgeon tonight. I mean, you just don't think anything's going to happen to the House of Mouse, and you're Asian, and you've done the math on this, and none of us can compete with you when it comes to math for obvious reasons. But we're hopeful,
Wiz.
Wiz.
We're making jokes. I can't agree with that either.
We're hopeful, Wiz. Listen, look at us. There's a smile behind my coffee cup. We're so excited that something might be moving, and we don't want Disney to go down. We just want a little comeuppance on the mouse.
I mean, I would love that. I would love to see it. I don't trust it's gonna happen. I just don't.
All right. Who here has hope? Let's find out. Let's see. Who has hope on this and who has no hope, panel?
I have none.
I mean, I really don't have any hope that anyone ever is going to face any kind of consequences for their actions. I think it's cool that
we're off the rails now. What is this?
Here, man? What are we? Why?
What is happening?
You're so shocked. You were the one that was making the Beardo Brett Cooper memes in real time Saturday night.
I would never. I also wouldn't have it prepped on the fly. No.
All right.
I would.
All right. Will Disney, at least as a result of this, will they at least be made as uncomfortable as Beardo when Brett Cooper said, "Get out of my seat and do it now"?
I don't think anyone's ever been that uncomfortable.
What's bad is he had his legs crossed in a very, unmasculine way, and it took him time to uncross them when she said, "Get out of my seat, sir."
Well, he was in California. So.
No, but Beardo, I mean, man. Like, I think at the end of the day, I don't know. With what happened with the files and Pam Bondi and all that stuff, I have no faith in this administration to actually hold anyone accountable. I think it's a lot of chest banging.
Pam's gone. Pam's gone. See,
yeah, and yet still nobody is in handcuffs.
I'm the only little happy camper down here. I'm not happy either. Okay, Fauci and all that. But Andy, here's the deal. Disney is so obviously outside the lines, in my opinion, because they were paying their C-suite more money based on who they hired, not in terms of merit, but in terms of what they like to do in the bedroom, or who their parents were, or what might or might not be between their legs, and if you imagined it was anyway. So, Andy, there's no way that's legal that Bob Iger gets paid more money based on who gets hired in those ways.
Not to rain on Wiz's parade here, but
Please do. Look, he needs it.
Confucius say, "Mouse with enough money can make anything happen."
I hate it here. I hate it here, man.
I think they're trying to drag their feet long enough in hopes that somebody right-leaning aligned doesn't get reelected or doesn't get elected again, so that they can try and have somebody else make this go away. You're getting into such a gray area here. Like, it's been found to be unconstitutional, all this stuff. Will anybody be held accountable? If somebody ever gets in trouble for this, it's going to be some low-level peon who was like, "Oh, look, this person implemented this, and that's why it happened." And Bob Iger, all these people, I think we've seen this over and over again. Certain people are untouchable, and it has nothing to do with any other color other than green, how much you have and how well connected you are. So,
boy, that's okay. That last part is very, very true. Of all the colors that Disney was interested in hiring, green ultimately was what mattered. What matters? Steph, Lauren, your thoughts on this this situation where, at the very least, it's keeping the legal department busy for Disney.
It is, but their legal department is very good. And I think that while this does put pressure on Disney, Disney obviously took advantage of DEI, whatever, all that stuff in order to line their pockets. But it is putting pressure on them. I don't see anything happening other than maybe they possibly pay a fine. I don't know. Their lawyers are very good at keeping Disney out of controversy and out of trouble. I'm just surprised that Marv got this close to taking down Disney than any of us.
You never knew that?
Ever did. I did not know that. This is brand new to me.
He just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, they don't like me very much.
Marv, they probably know you now when you go through the gates. I just want you to understand that.
I mean, I hope they don't, but they probably do.
They might. Lauren, I'm going to give you the final word on this one. You've heard the arguments. You've heard, Wiz says no way. Andy says maybe. I say, hey, I think Disney wants to take a bite out of them. Lauren, you get to weigh in, umpire this thing, ball or strike.
Is Wiz Asian?
I think I'd have to probably side with Ron, who ultimately thinks that they're putting pressure on him, but likely nothing is going to happen. And I think a lot of that is because Steph is also right. Disney has excellent lawyers who are very good at what they do.
Tell that to the state of Florida.
Well, that was their arrogance and hubris that bit them there. I think in this case, as much as I don't think this is the way that it should be, I think that Ron is ultimately correct in the sense that FCC regulation of the public airwaves was originally because that broadcast spectrum was scarce because everybody used it. That's no longer the case. And while I would prefer that you relax those standards by legally stating that we're going to relax them, the practical reality of the fact is that it's not really a contested resource the way that it once was, and so it's more difficult for the FCC to be heavy-handed. And the final thing that I'd like to offer is that I think, personally, Wiz is definitely Asian.
It was you. It was you. You're the one behind this.
Hello there and hi there from Quick Buck Comics. We've been watching as companies like Disney, Warner Brothers, and Universal all universally suck. And then we watched as companies like Rippaverse and Big Man Comics came in to save the day. That's when we realized we could make crappy comics and do it the cheap way by not doing the hard work that Rippaverse and Big Man Comics were doing. We've got characters like John Maynard, William Thompson, and Staccato DDS. Why? Because we stole them from the WDW Pro audience. Because making characters is hard. And by the end of every comic, you get to draw your own panels. Why? Because art is hard. But please, folks, when you're done, make sure to buy our coffee that's made by someone else with our label slapped on it. Why? You guessed it. Making coffee is hard.
We were in on this joke years ago, folks. That's a 2-year-old clip. You're welcome. Paul.
Say you were way ahead of the game on that one.
We slip them in and don't say a thing. Paul for 2. Trolling. Wilton Raid. Good evening.
Good to see both of you.
Yep. You and Paul's alt account. Eric Stratton for 20. 20. Kudos to Marv for great articles and surviving Geeks and Gamers Mario Kart.
Barely.
The blue shells of hell. Kudos for Steph for being cool and fun on all these live streams. Latina Lucille Ball.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so happy.
What have you done?
It's
Wow.
eldritch horror.
Wow. Okay.
I gotta say, saying real life has got to be really difficult with an Asian accent.
Real life.
life.
Real life.
Good thing I don't have an Asian
wizard.
accent.
No, but I mean, like when your parents call.
Oh my.
Look at you just staring over the shoulder of people now.
That's
it's
how
rude,
he
frankly.
announces himself to his parents on the phone. Yes, this is the real life fake wizard.
Well, I'm gonna say his parents would be Asian if he was Asian.
I got to figure this out. Rear eye fake wizard.
That's a horrible
All of
name
you
to say.
should be canceled now. That's yes.
Well,
England DG for 2.
Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
That's that's the Asian coming out. Dishonor on your cow.
Wizard's like, when will my reflection show?
I
his
will
wand,
make a man.
his wand looks
out of you
suspiciously like
two.
chopsticks.
That's right. England DG for 2. Want change? Everyone needs to vote in November. That's right. That's right. And we've got Tennille the 10th with another 10 for 5. Wiz. The difference now isn't just one thing. It's that the transgressions have only continued to accumulate and grow more severe. It's the weight of the numbers.
And yet it keeps getting worse, and we keep finding out more, and we find out some more, and we find out a little more, and then nothing happens. That's where I'm coming from. So I hope you guys are right. I hope, get them, take them to court.
You hope that we're light.
Jesus.
It's that Asian accent.
Yeah, I can't understand you, man.
Come on, man. Come on.
We gotta get a dub.
Yeah. Is this how Beardo feels on Tuesday night's main event?
I did want to ask you, can you help me with my taxes next year?
I hate you.
Poor Wiz. Even I'm starting to feel sorry for him now. By the way, I have been informed that we have found, I guess, photos of Wizard taken by the paparazzi. Wizard, are you aware of this?
No, not more. You got more. This.
What are you talking about? I'm just.
Oh no.
What is wrong with you? What's wrong?
I'm assuming it's more questionable content.
No, I'm just saying that as part of the new media launching, and how many subscribers are you up to now?
132,000
in record time. You knew you were going to get attention, right?
Yeah.
You're practically Paris Hilton in a hat in a Spirit Halloween costume. So they've started following you. Ladies and gentlemen, this photo was taken outside of the Wendy's in Middle Earth. Here we go, folks. There's Wizard as he was seen the other day. It's amazing when you take the glasses off. It's amazing.
Okay.
With son. Arigato with son.
We saw.
This is gonna be a thing. It travels into all the shows. My own show. It's gonna be a thing.
It's definitely coming to Culture Crossfire. I'll tell you that much.
Can you sell noodles, please? Can that be a part of what you do?
No!
Real fake noodles.
I'm not starting a noodle brand.
Real life fake bulgogi sauce. Your barbecue will be a magic.
Kunga Pao, a wizard. Kayla for 5.
Worse, Asian people think I'm Asian.
My wife thought you were Asian.
It makes it worse.
I really did think you were Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the polyjuice potion.
Polyjuice potion is another really horrible thing to try.
Ajdar. Kayla for 5. Geek Grind Coffee's next product based on Folgers. Real life fake coffee. It's magically delicious. General Mills and Lucky Charms lawsuit incoming. No, please sponsor us. We're getting ready to go into the noodle business.
That's all right. The People's Republic of China tends to ignore those copyright lawsuits.
It's bad. I have a matcha company.
Matcha noodles.
Also Asian. Yeah.
Your noodles can taste like grass tomorrow. England DG for 5. My wife is watching the stream with me. She is Viet. She just said, Expectro Spring Rolla. I'm sorry, I had to share. Isn't it beautiful?
Do I at least get to say that Alan Ng is my dad?
Yes.
I mean, you could.
You could.
Yeah. Alan Ng is also my dad.
If there's
Although
an Asian version of Lord of the Rings, since you're like 6'8" or whatever, you really would make a great Gandalf.
I'm 6'4". Stop it.
Sure you are. Pro plays for $1.99. Pro face reveal, then Wizard de-bearding.
Already out there.
I said it before on Culture Crossfire. The day that I met Wizard in person for the first time, I was like, I didn't know he was approaching because I thought it was Gregor Clegane the Mountain from Game of Thrones because he's just such a massive human
But it's
being.
also because I'm devilishly handsome. That's the other thing, too.
This is true.
Yeah.
What people don't know is you're using the beard to try to slow the ladies, because if it was revealed just how handsome you are, there's no way we could safely present you in public. Just no way.
He's so tall. His brother was Yao Ming.
What is this?
Pro.
What the heck? Why?
That one didn't even give you an Asian face. It just used your face.
Just use my face.
I didn't make this one. I just want to say, folks, I didn't make this one. I would have clipped out the microphone. I mean, that's just, come on, folks. We can
workmanship.
We can Microsoft Paint better than this. Come on.
Now. Somebody took that now. That's today.
Here's the thing. Look at the eyes, though. Look at the eyes.
Yes, I know, Lord. I look Asian. Yes.
I can't take my eyes off the hands. They're baby hands.
Why?
Strange little baby hands. I'm worried about this. We've got Woodsy out there, Mr. Owl. No, he's got the astronaut thing. Okay, for $5, Wiz is a secret Asian man. They've given him a spell book, and they've taken away his name.
Secret Asian man.
Why are you getting all the super chats about me being an Asian man?
Because this has been...
He's giving you a number, then bringing you your lo mein.
This has been a dam that has been waiting to break, Wiz. People didn't want to say anything. They've secretly been wondering for now a year, is he Asian?
She did this.
She did this.
I blame Steph.
That is
I thought
harsh.
you were Asian. I did.
Okay.
So did
And
we
so
all.
did half the internet, but nobody was talking about it.
I legitimately thought you were Asian.
People
It's not
think
too late
you're-
to change to a samurai.
People think that you're an Asian based on the fact that you're Asian.
Yeah, but
That
it
is
was
hard
like
to-
it was like a hidden thing. Nobody talked about it. Now I'm not going to be able to escape it.
You think it's just been a whisper campaign that's been going on? It's like, hey, do you think he's Asian?
Baby hands on your... Baby hands on your arm. Hands on your arm, Steph. Look out.
Oh my gosh! If the FNT chat suddenly gets spammed with sushi rolls instead of the oranges.
No.
What is your favorite sushi roll, Wiz?
Oh.
I'm worried about the
He
Asian
doesn't want to
here.
answer this question.
I'm not answering that. I'm not answering.
I was waiting to see if he would name it in Japanese. You know,
I don't have to answer
Yeah.
you, gaijins.
It's like that old Pete Townsend record. All the best wizards have Chinese eyes.
All right, well, we'll move on, folks. Now, if you don't know, the super chat goal for this evening is a big one, but there's a reason for that, ladies and gentlemen. If you want us to help hit that goal, the reason is because we're going to do the Mandalorian review on Thursday. I am willing, I am game to an AMA for that movie, so that people who want to know, they have questions about the review, you will be able to ask anything at all, and we will take that in stride and answer those questions one at a time Thursday night. Help us hit the goal, and we will do that. Dude Man Cuz for $19.99. Great show tonight. Thanks, Real Life Asian Wizard.
You're welcome. Fine.
You're welcome. To nail the 10th for $2, well, at least Wiz's clothes are on in those photos.
This is true.
I always think when I see Wizard,
Oh my
thank
gosh.
goodness he's wearing clothes in those photos.
The chat has lit up with sushi rolls.
And chopsticks, which is a really nice touch. I mean, how are you going to
Yeah,
eat them
that's-
without the chopsticks?
Absolutely, man. Great. Wonderful.
Frankly-
what's the next topic?
We have lost complete control. There are no more topics. We've lost total control of the show. It's over. We're done here. Okay, that's it. No,
Calling
I'm kidding.
Jonas and say you guys are bullying me.
Jonas.
Well,
Jonas.
one thing that you normally bring to an Asian household to like give a gift is oranges.
What are you trying to do? All right, folks, let's dive into the next news item. And why? because we never tire of bringing you the news. It's time to talk about a summer of reckoning on the way for Hollywood after a spring of revitalization at the box office. Movies this spring have been winning and winning and winning some more. Michael, a movie that does not stray from the idea that Michael Jackson was a very strange guy with a pathological family, but is distinctly not woke whatsoever, has reclaimed the box office top spot in its fourth weekend. And that's not all. Of course, this being covered by ABC News. That's not all, folks. We've also seen Project Hail Mary. We've seen Mario. I can't believe it, but Wizard was right. The Sheep Detectives, great movie. Movie after movie that goes back to traditional storytelling, they're winning. And maybe even we include The Devil Wears Prada too, which is kind of shocking as well.
It's great for its audience.
It's great for its audience. But every single week, we're here bringing you news about these movies. And look at this. It even says Amazon MGM Studios had 3 movies in the top 10, including The Sheep Detectives in 5th place. The Sheep Detectives came in 5th place. Way to go. It's the worst marketed movie ever, but it's a darn good film.
So good.
And what has been happening as a result of this? Well, if we go to the top 100 for music, everything's Drake right now, which, folks, the Iceman album. But if we go down, you got to understand the Michael Jackson movie has been out for like 4 weeks. Michael Jackson is back in the top 100 for America's top songs. He's in the top 100. Billie Jean is number 36. Number 38 is Human Nature. If we go down, Michael Jackson, 51, Dirty Diana. Michael Jackson, number 52, Beat It. Keep going down. Michael Jackson, number 64, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And there are more actually here. Number 81, Pretty Young Thing. Why do I say all this? And my favorite film so far of the first half of the year, Project Hail Mary. The reason I bring this up is because you would think that Hollywood would be celebrating. You'd think they'd be on cloud 9. They're not. The New York Post is talking about this right now. Johnny Oleksinski, I think I got that right, Oleksinski, says these questions will terrify Hollywood this summer. Why would Hollywood be terrified right now? Well, because the kinds of movies that were placed for the spring are not the kinds of movies which will be ringing in the summer. It says, we're almost there, summertime. Grilling in the backyard, lounging at the pool. Rose all day. Pretty soon we won't have a care in the world, but not Hollywood. For Tinseltown, the next 3 months mean that a series of frightening existential questions will be posed on a near weekly basis. This is by far the most massive movie summer in theory anyway since 2019. With Star Wars, Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, Marvel, DC, Pixar, and a Disney live-action flick all jockeying for position. There's a lot of competition, and everybody can't come out on top. By Labor Day, we'll know who the winners were and who's crying under their LA desks. Here's what will have Hollywood really sweating as the weather heats up. It goes on to ask, can Star Wars do it anymore? It says, can Spielberg even make a hit again? Supergirl, will that be the end of James Gunn? And it keeps going and going. They have been, and we've covered this, they have been having hits all spring, but those movies were likely scheduled for the spring outside of Mario, because they were worried those films wouldn't be hits with audiences, so they couldn't compete in the summer. And now the summer films might be bummers. And that's because what they're finding out is audiences wanted what they put out in February, March, and April. Traditional films. And they are scared to death that after this spring, the summer is going to be glum for them. It's crazy, but it's true. Steph, what say you when it comes to films like Supergirl and so many of these other things that they go back into the woke Hollywood playbook? This could be the summer of reckoning for them.
It really could be. And not only that, but like a lot of these franchises, they've just lost their audience. So I think these are movies that are banking on box office, that banking on kids being out of school, going and watching them. But at the same time, those kids that are out of school who would go and watch these aren't engaging in any of these franchises. So who do they have left? They have the audience that they drove away. And they're trying to garner any interest in that audience, any glimmer of interest in that audience to get them to go to the theater, but they're pretty much disenfranchised now. So they should be worried. They really should be worried because the audience just doesn't trust them. They've given up on the franchise, especially with Star Wars. Like, there is zero interest in Star Wars, no matter how much they try to lie and say, "Oh, the interest is up by a couple of points according to this article." No, there's no interest in Star Wars. They can try and parade around Baby Yoda all they want. It's just the novelty of that character is gone. And the movie is probably most likely going to flop. Nobody's interested in Supergirl. All of the decisions that James Gunn has made so far with the DCU have been terrible decisions. And as Toy Story, like the Toy Story movie, after the third one, that's it. People are like, they reject the fourth one. We don't need a fifth one. So I think that they have every right to be worried, because all the movies that are coming out right now are just slop movies. They're, to me at least, they're slop movies. They are brain rot slop movies that I have zero interest in. And if I wasn't actually on YouTube, I wouldn't be going and watching them. All of the movies that I'm interested in are the ones that you just mentioned. So,
and I think they're totally terrified of a reality where Project Hail Mary is beloved by audiences, and the Odyssey with Christopher Nolan is not.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And now Comic Book Guy is reporting this just very recently. The Odyssey official trailer on YouTube has now become the most disliked movie trailer in Christopher Nolan's career ever. And Marv, if that's true, I think we need to be covering that.
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
We'll need to fact check that, but this could be the case, and that is huge news. And I don't know. I'm not trying to prejudge the film. You know, when it comes out, we'll see what's in it. But it definitely, when the trades are defending it by comparing it to Snow White and The Little Mermaid from Disney, that's not a winning strategy. Those films don't need to be in any kind of defense if you want to win.
So last Tuesday, I went to the movie theater. My wife, she wanted to go see Michael again. And I was like, oh, this will be fun. We'll just go. We'll have the whole theater to ourselves, be empty, whatever. Full theater. On a great Tuesday night, that theater was full, and people were like just glued to it. I mean, 4 weeks in. And here's another thing. You got they kicked Mortal Kombat out of most of the IMAX theaters and put Michael back in. That's how it got to the top of the charts.
And
got
Hollywood
all the
hated
premium screens back. Yeah,
Hollywood hated the Michael movie.
Hated it.
They were just totally put off by Mario. They just said, this is so silly. When it came to Project Hail Mary, it was a giant meh. They don't want to admit that now, but if you guys remember, all the articles going into Project Hail Mary's release were about how it could not be profitable, and this was a huge mistake by Amazon, and how silly they were for investing in this movie. Mm-hmm. They have hated on every movie audiences have loved. And now the movies that they are determined to love, audiences may not like. And here we go, right? Why Elon Musk and his troll army's attacks aren't just silly, but wildly inaccurate about the Odyssey.
Yeah, that's par for the course for the mainstream media, right? Like they're not here for the audience. So of course they're going to dislike everything the audience likes and like everything that the corporations tell them to like. That's who they're being paid by. They're being paid to push an agenda or to push a narrative or to push an article by all of these corporations. Hey, make Disney look great. Push all of these Pedro articles out there and say that it's the most anticipated Star Wars movie ever. Put that out there when in reality it's not.
And how many articles, Steph, have we seen where they're like, Pedro is what masculinity should be?
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's at least five. Like at least five.
You put together
There's
a whole
a
thing
lot
of it,
more
yeah.
because I've saved a bunch of them.
Look at the way Variety defends this, okay? On the right side. Everybody read this, and you tell me if this is the worst defense you could come up with. Like, I feel like we trolled them, and we sent this to them and said, do it. I promise it'll work. Variety says, from the team that brought you Why is Snow White Latina? Why are there black people in the Rings of Power? And Star Wars has gone woke comes the latest onslaught against the diverse cast of the Odyssey.
All those great comparisons of wild breakout successes.
I mean, my gosh.
And we were talking about impressions earlier. This got 4 million impressions, and it was all audience members, all people laughing at them and telling them how ridiculous this article is. Like, they're getting the impressions, but everyone's making fun of them and telling them how crappy the mainstream.
You know how you can tell that? Folks, look at the numbers. 4.3 million views. Less than 6,000 people. Okay, so I don't know what the percentage is there. I'm not going to run the math that quickly. Somebody out there can. What's the percentage of the 4.3 million viewers who clicked the like button if less than 6,000 did so? It's going to be a teeny weeny little percentage of people who actually said, yeah, what a great point. What a great point. Wiz, this seems to me to be a self-deletion of the industry if they do this. And I think the summer is the reckoning. And once we leave that point, there are two paths to take for Hollywood, and they get to decide, but they don't get to thrive unless they go back to making the same stuff we've enjoyed, actually. Darn it, we've actually enjoyed movies for the first time in forever this spring.
Yeah. You know what? And it's Project Hail Mary, Sheep
Awesome.
Detectives, which I love Sheep Detectives. But also in the horror genre, Obsession was a really interesting and satisfying movie. It was nasty. I mean, it's a horror movie, so it's brutal, but it was a good movie, and it had an extremely low budget. So people, and also the Obsession horror movie came from a YouTuber, a comedy YouTuber. Yeah. So there you go. So here you find.
Is that the second movie of the year that came from a YouTuber who's broken in now?
Yes. And there's going to be a third one coming too.
That's right.
So the takeover is about to happen. Yeah.
The takeover is happening. And so I stand by what I've said before on this show. What I'm going to continue to say, The Odyssey is the final nail to conventional Hollywood. You've got Chris Nolan directing, the biggest director in Hollywood right now. You have all of the A-lists. You've got Zendaya, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Matt Damon, and the list goes on. Even Lupita Nyong'o is a pretty big name in Hollywood for who she is and what she does. So I think this is it. It's the final nail of the final big attempt, and it's going to get all the Oscars. It's going to get all the awards, and I just hope it's actually an interesting movie and it's not boring. And not that I think it will be boring, but like we're all going to see it here on this panel. I hope it's not a bad movie because we have to watch it. But I do think that this is it, and they know it's it, and I think it's almost poetic whether Nolan knows it or not, that he is producing an adaptation of something that we are extracting maximum value out of and injecting our own ideology and sensibilities.
Let me follow up that, Wiz. Let me follow up with you on that one. Elon Musk. Love him, hate him. He's got to be one of the smartest guys on the planet. I know some people just pretend that he, faked his way to all these business situations, but he's chosen this as a battleground that he wants to have. What's the play here? Does he see it your way? Is that what he's looking at here? Is he going to take down Hollywood and try to take over with the new media with X? Is that what this is?
Well, I guess to just kind of reframe what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Hollywood will cease to exist after this.
No. But I mean, does he understand this is
big one? And then after that, it's going to be everybody else.
Has he identified this as an 80-20 with the average audience? With the broader markets, it's an 80-20 issue, and he knows he's going to win, and he's going all in on that?
I think he recognizes. I can't possibly speculate what Elon's thinking. That guy is a 4D chess player. However, he knew, absolutely, I could say this as a matter of fact, he knew that by getting himself involved, it would immediately break containment. And it would become a normie talked about discussion. Whereas maybe before it might have been just us. Maybe it might have been a little bit bigger because it's Nolan and it would have crossed more streams. But now you've got Elon involved and he's not going to stop talking about it until the movie's out of the theaters. And even then he might make jokes. This is breaking containment. More and more people are going to know about this.
Andy, I want to go ahead, Steph.
I was gonna say that's why they had like that whole Times article with Chris Nolan and the 60 Minutes puff piece. Like they're trying to make this look like you have to go and see it. This is fantastic. This is phenomenal, while also not talking about any of the casting decisions. They're very quiet in regards to all of the casting decisions. I completely agree with Wizard. Like it's a final nail in the coffin. I almost look at it as this is Hollywood's last stand, right? When it comes to all of this agenda pushing, they've got their most well-respected director that all of the actors want to work with. And it's like the goal in Hollywood is to be in a Christopher Nolan movie. They have that director going out and making this movie and casting it like he's casting it. It's their last stand. This is our biggest name in Hollywood, the most well-respected person. He's putting this out. This is our last stand in Hollywood to tell you none of our none of our thinking is going to go out the window. We're still going to push forward with our DEI agenda, whether you like it or not. We've got the big man on campus, and he is putting out this movie regardless of what anybody is saying, and he's casting it this way so he can align with Hollywood. It is their last stand. And I mean, I think that his audience and his fans and people who know Christopher Nolan and like Christopher Nolan movies are going to go and see it. So it is going to be relatively successful. It's just how successful will it be, right? Because right now you have all of this negativity going towards Christopher Nolan's movie, and they're staying away from all of that negativity. They're not even commenting on it. You have all the trades commenting on it, but Christopher Nolan is keeping hush hush on it. Not even the actors are commenting on it. You have other actors in Hollywood commenting on it, but none of the actors that are involved in the Odyssey are saying anything or coming out and defending all of the casting or anything like that. So I really do think that this is like their last stand. We've got Christopher Nolan making this movie. We're not changing the way we're doing things in Hollywood. And you're either going to love us, accept us, or you're going to hate us and reject us.
Boy, that is very, very well said, Steph. And what's on the line too, Andy, is if we look at the Michael situation, to follow up on what Steph was saying, if Hollywood can go back to being successful with the kind of stuff that people want, as opposed to this other stuff, the power of movies still exists. This is the proof. It's in the pudding right here. The movie is popular. Suddenly, Michael Jackson songs are in the top 100. And it's not a few of them. 4 weeks in, this is the power of good movies, is that it creates the flywheel. We talk about that so much with Disney, right? If it's a kid's thing, toys are going off the shelves and people are going and getting Happy Meals. If it's a music documentary biopic, suddenly the songs are popular again, right? Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen is like everywhere. This is the power of making films people care about. It's not just Hollywood that benefits. It percolates throughout all of the streams of cultural relevancy. And Andy, they're giving up on that, I think, with some of these films in the summer.
Are we sure that Christopher Nolan was not introduced to the Impractical Jokers, guys?
Well, you think the wool is over our eyes? Who's going to be the one who's tricked in that one, him or us? I don't know.
Here, all right, cast this one. See how people react. Go ahead, I dare you. See if you'll do it.
Right.
It's going to get all the fanfare. It's going to get all the buzz. There's a lot of people out there in these generations that have no idea where they couldn't find Greece on a map. Their idea of Greek mythology is probably seeing Hercules when they were a kid, the animated version from Disney. There's going to be a lot of people that have no idea what this is about. Gone are the days of the great epics and the great translations of myths into cinematic features. People are going to look at this and we've got some dumb people out there that don't know that Anne Boleyn probably wasn't very melanin enriched. She and it just doesn't matter to them. Like Steph said, the loyalists of Nolan are going to go see this regardless. The people that are just going to roll our eyes with it are just going to be it's going to be very forgettable. And my prediction with this is you're going to find it, no matter how many awards it wins, it's going to be in the $5 bin at Walmart in 3 years. So,
Lauren, final word goes to you. You've loved some of the films that we've had the chance to watch, and it's been a strange place in the channel. But it's been authentic, right? We call balls and strikes, and you and I have had the chance to talk about movies that we have really loved watching. And it's been a long time. And there are still films that we're looking forward to, like Godzilla Minus Zero coming out later. But this summer could be a bummer for Hollywood. I think there's a stark contrast now. A decision must be made. And as the rest are saying it, Christopher Nolan could be the catalyst for change in Hollywood if the rest of the execs look at this and say, there's no money to be made on this.
I sure hope so. I mean, the big question I think for a long time has been, is their priority money or ideology? And I think that question has been somewhat subverted because I think that they were getting money from other sources. And I think that may be why they're pivoting slightly now. I kind of hope that the Odyssey ends up being a giant embarrassment. I hope it's a wake-up call to Hollywood. I hope that they start deciding that the smart thing to do would be to entertain their audiences again, because that's what we really need.
How's the opening to summer with the Mandalorian Grogu going to go?
It ain't going to be great, I don't think.
Well, that doesn't sound so optimistic then, Lauren. That doesn't sound so optimistic. Well, folks, We'll stay optimistic here, hoping that Hollywood sees that they've been acting like a bunch of derrieres. And please, no more one battles after another. We don't need that, okay? I don't want to see a situation where the Odyssey comes out, flops at theaters, Christopher Nolan's worse, but suddenly it's everywhere for the awards. That would not be a great way for cinema to whimper on out of here.
You serious, Clark?
The power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
No!
Now, ascend, my son.
Commander Cody, the time has come, homie. Execute Order 66. I'm still alive, motherfucker.
What is this?
I got a better one.
That's what Lauren comes up with when he has prep time.
You have my katana.
I hate it.
No. Let me show you the good one.
What do you have?
What?
What are you ready with? What have you been aiming for? Oh my.
Suspense.
Hold on. No. Wait a minute. This deserves an intro, okay?
Oh, come on.
Weird.
Look at that. Hold on a second. I gotta say, if you put a hat on that guy, Bruce, Wiz, I think we found a relative.
Maybe we have.
That's not far off.
That's pretty funny. I like that you put the glasses on too.
That's not bad.
Glasses is a good touch, man.
Not bad at all. Wiz, get out in the sun, and I think we're done. I think you're Bruce.
Sure.
You're at least Fei Long.
Yeah.
To nail the 10th for 2, so it could have been worse. Little victories. We'll take victories any way we can get them, right? Woofle, the crime dog for 5. You guys shouldn't pick on Wizard anymore.
That's right.
We know how powerful anime villains become.
Damn.
We probably should have read this before we put the pictures on the screen now. I regret that we did not preempt it with this.
Woofle, you had me in the first half.
Should have read it. Should have looked at it. Shouldn't have commented before I got to the ... Poke Pro plays for 199. Sushi roll, sushi roll, sushi roll, sushi roll. Is that a lemon or a kumquat or what do we got there?
That's an orange.
Are you sure that's an orange? That's a strange looking orange.
That's the only orange available. It's,
really?
It's actually a tangerine. I think.
Well, better than peaches, right? Peaches, right. Peaches. Paggy Protons for 2. Imagine a Favreau-directed Thrawn trilogy.
No, I'm good.
No, yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
Maybe Once Upon a Time. Maybe in 2019. That would have got me really excited. Paggy Protons for 2. Save us, fake wizard son. You're our only hope.
Keep hoping.
Cannon Barnes for 5. Hello, all. I'm seeing Mando and Grogu on Thursday, too. Happy to join the review panel if possible. But anyway, go Spurs, go. Por vida. I miss the days of Manu. Juliet for 2. Poor Wizard.
Thank you.
There are tears in those beard.
Hold
in
on.
that beard.
I have
Oh, he's making more? Come on.
What do you got?
I've stopped. I figure I've ribbed you enough.
I know. Mark took the baton.
I have one.
Hands
Put it
off
on the
keyboard.
screen.
Look at that hat.
I like
Look at that little hat.
I like that one.
That's a wallpaper. That should be on everybody's desktop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like this one too. I'm not going to lie. That's lovely. I don't know which one I like better. Folks, actually, you know what? We need a poll. It's poll time. All right. So which one do you like better?
We're polling the chat now?
Of course. Let's see. Bruce Wizardson. Or do we go with... how do we want to call the Naruto? What do we want to do with...
That's not Naruto. That's not Naruto. It's Goku.
Goku. Okay. Let's see.
Wizku.
Real fake Goku? What'd you say, Marv?
Wizku. It's C-Cube official said in the chat. Wizku.
Okay, we'll go with it. It makes me... No, I don't have to ask a question. You can just do it. Okay, folks. Poll is out there in the chat. You tell us, okay?
Put him in the MCU and see if you can make him real fake wizard in the 10 Rings.
Packing protons for 5. Also, Lauren should be forced to listen to Cars for Kids on that road trip for hours.
Yes. After tonight, yes.
Man, that Cars for Kids, man. I don't want to ever dogpile a charity, but I remember years ago when that would come on. I had, what was the name of the service I had that I would listen to Fox News sometimes in the morning with it was Fox News Radio, but I don't remember. Anyway, maybe it was Sirius XM. What is going on up there?
You got Yamchud.
Poor little fella. Aw.
That's how it feels.
But they used to sing the song 1877 Cars for Kids. Dun, 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 dun. It was like
KARS Cars for
KARS Cars for Kids. And it was like, is there anybody out there seriously calling and be like, hey, I got a pickup truck and I'd like to donate it to sick kids. Like, I can't imagine that anybody would be driving around and thinking, yep, I'm just going to give a vehicle away today to this. But I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know.
like
California banned them. California banned them. O2RR Wilson, Steph openly shared. I'll share too. I actually thought real life fake wizard was Nolan Thunder in his disguise when I was a newcomer.
All right. Now that's another level of insulting.
Why was this? This is not even a super chat. What are we doing to this guy?
It's just perfect.
Who put this here?
To be fair, Marv asked me to.
I did because I thought it was so funny.
Saboteurs. Robin, Tennessee for 2. Whiz on, whiz off.
Whiz
on, whiz off.
Nope, we can't do that one. We cannot do that one.
Why not?
Because I am his wisecracking New Jersey Italian sidekick, which makes me Daniel LaRusso, which means we're not doing that one.
Well, if you do, use Mando.
That makes me the Mr. Miyagi in the relationship.
Yes!
Paul 12,000 for 2. Summer blockbusters will be summer lacklusters. Da-da-da-ba-dum-bum. Could be. Cannon for 5. It's time for my summer sizzle, cool as a cherry popsicle. And don't hold back, get ready to stun. Fun, fun, fun for everyone. We haven't played the summer. It's almost summer, folks. Kind of maybe the last time.
It's time for my summer sizzle, cool as a cherry popsicle, and don't hold back, get ready to stun. Fun, fun, fun for everyone.
You can choose to feel sorry for yourself. I hope you don't.
Almost 1,000 of you joining us right now, and numbers are dropping after that clip. Yeah, Steph.
I gave him glasses.
Thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Upgrades. England DG for 5. Supporting your points, we go to the dine-in screen. Nice night out, but about $200. That's a double bin. I ask kiddo and wife, and it's almost always, no, Dad, let's do mini golf instead. It just wasn't for that darn lighthouse and the windmill. Oh, I hate them. Great Caesar's Ghost for 2. The Pro Channel, a family-friendly version of FNT. We try, folks, wherever you are. You got the kids in the car, you got a cubicle, you got a boss hanging over your shoulder. Don't worry, we'll turn them into fans, and we won't say a word that makes you worry, unless Tom or Paul Chatto are on, and then all bets are off. England DG for 2. Last we saw, Carol, we just forgive. Nobody gets mad at Carol. Carol could come out on here and be like, you mother boo, and we'd just be like, oh, Caro, you're so great. Meanwhile, Tom gets the swear jar thrown at him. England DG for 2. Last we saw was Michael. Before that, Demon Slayer. Very cool. Juliet, member for 20 months. The city of Troy was in Turkey. I never understood why we named that after a bird that doesn't live there. It just doesn't make sense to me. England for 5. Andy, the advantage of Michael is that race swapping doesn't matter. Race swap and you can't stop. Race swap and you can't stop. Don't stop till you get enough.
I put in something into play here. I reached out to one of our friends that does some AI because I couldn't stop seeing Stephen Colbert to the theme of Madonna. Last night I kissed that gay Pedro.
By the way, did you guys notice that Colbert went out and just nothing?
Oh, is he done?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought,
exactly.
Oh my God. Wow.
Is that not amazing?
Well, you know what? Like, it's like on the finale of Scrubs, they start off with like JD shows up for his last day of work, and Turk makes a big deal of saying goodbye to him in this big, huge way, and he's going to do it all throughout the day. And by the time he actually is leaving at the end of it, it's lost its luster and no one cares. That's what Colbert did. People have been saying goodbye to Colbert for a year. So, you know, nobody gives a crap.
Nobody cares. Nobody cared. It was all manufactured. England DG, thank you for sending that one in. Retromeister for 5. Evening all. Speaking of Last Stand, I believe that Scary Movie 6 is comedy's last chance to eject DEI from culture and save the genre for future content.
Yeah, it needs to beat up everybody.
We need white chicks too. Bruce Newhouse for 199. I'll give up my first name for Lauren. You're welcome, Lauren. Antonil the 10th for 2. Goodness me, did Wiz kill your puppy pro? Savage.
Yeah, seriously.
I like
All this
real life fake noodles. It's a great company.
Man.
Imagine the branding that we could do. Your beard could be noodles instead of hair.
Yeah, sure. That's gonna sell.
And, well, it actually does kind of work because you're a fake Asian.
Whoa. What are you Hey, let's not insult around here, okay?
Man.
Let's honor the
I'm not
legacy.
doing this show again.
They
Let's
really
honor the
would
heritage.
be real life fake noodles.
You know, I just will come on this show and I leave and I feel like Charlie Brown because
Who's Lucy in this situation?
Michelle Yeoh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to help Charlie get to the next segment. We got 2 more stories. We're going to go quick, and that means that we are going to go straight from story to story. We are 20 out of 50 and the timer stops. So here's what I'm going to do, folks. Since we had 20 out of 50, I'm going to lower the number down. We needed 30 more. We'll drop it to 15. If we can hit 15, only 15 super chats, we'll do a Mando and Grogu AMA after the review on Thursday. Anybody can ask anything, and we'll make that happen. Okay. Look at that. Pedro, and isn't that
this
beautiful?
is us ready for the AMA.
I like how the AI still puts a ring light in Marv's glasses. Even at the theater, it's determined we have to have a ring light in front of him.
Yep.
That's funny.
You look so happy, Wiz. Could you redo that where you have either you or he have an arm around the other? Could we do that maybe?
No.
Romance, come on.
Veto.
Yep. Get the bro going. All right, folks, let's dive in. Disney, yet again, making a big change in leadership. This time, who's in charge of the Walt Disney World Resort, the biggest thing Disney owns? We'll tell you on the other side. And ladies and gentlemen, there has been a change announced from the Walt Disney Company. It says Disney Experiences announces senior leadership changes. This straight from the mouse. Not even an author, just experiences, eh? All right, let's zoom in so everybody can see this, and that way we can all read together. But these 3 people at the top, they matter, and come on, Disney, what are you doing? Very pale, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to harass them about this kind of stuff and hold them to their own standards. No. Disney Experiences Chairman Thomas Maslam today announced a series of senior leadership appointments to guide teams around the world through a period of transformative growth. Joe Schott has been appointed as the president of the Walt Disney World Resort. Natasha Rafalski is appointed president Disney Signature Experiences. And Christoph Murphy is promoted to president of Disneyland Paris. Disney Experiences, it says, is in the midst of unprecedented expansion with more projects underway across our global portfolio than in any other moment in our history. These appointments reflect the depth of leadership, talent driving Disney Experiences. Joe, Natasha, and Christoph have a deep appreciation of the guest experience, possess extensive financial and operational expertise, and a proven ability to deliver at scale. I have complete confidence in each of them to build on the remarkable momentum underway across these businesses to write the next chapter of Disney's story. Now, the one that we're focused on here is Joe Schott, president of Walt Disney World. And Joe is appointed president, succeeding Jeff Valley. Folks have told me 15 ways to say the name. We'll stay with Vale. Succeeding Jeff Vale, who is retiring after a distinguished 36-year career with the company. Now, Joe is coming in, and he's been the head of Disney Cruise Lines. That's what you need to know about him, and this is right here. Started his illustrious career as a jungle cruise skipper, made his way up to the head of the cruise line, but now he will be in charge of Walt Disney World. But what's amazing about this is that Mr. Vale is leaving after all these decisions for Walt Disney World came down about destroying the rivers of America and changing Splash Mountain and destroying Muppet Vision and so much stuff. And Andy, I'd like to go to you first on this one. It's interesting to me that maybe these woke decisions, even if they were passed down for Bob Iger, they had the unfortunate effect, at least from the perspective of the guy who was in charge, of maybe being what hoisted him away from his company, and now he's being replaced. They're calling it a retirement, but I gotta say, I think the destruction of so much of the legendary stuff people loved might have been the end and might have been why they said, we got to get the cruise line guy in. Andy, what are your thoughts on Disney changing leadership after getting rid of so much that people wanted to stay forever?
I think the news has really come out about how badly so many things are going for them. We've got the theme park competition with Epic that they've come out and admitted to. We know park attendance is down. We clearly know all the problems they're having in the movie side of things. The only thing they probably have going for them is the cruise ships. And so the park attendants, you need a sacrificial lamb. I think you had to have put somebody's head on the block for this to make Wall Street think that, look, we're making some changes. Don't bail on us yet. Don't sell all the stock. I think it's mostly theatrics with it. I don't know how much it's actually going to change. The problems are really the leadership and the directions that they're going with these things. They're so antithetical to mainstream America, and probably in the world too, because we're seeing a lot of things happening elsewhere about objections in culture and so forth that were being pushed on us. And there's a big international market as well. So I think somebody just had to pay for the sins and to make it look like we're doing something.
I think so too. And Lauren, this is very quick after Josh D'Amaro takes over. I wonder if some of these decisions that came out of the Bob Iger era are not popular with Wall Street. I largely view Josh D'Amaro as being the choice of Wall Street, and I think the company's probably being led by Wall Street. I know that Josh is in charge, but I think Wall Street might be more in charge, if I can say that. And I think Wall Street has decided that the cruise guy who was doing well with his segment is going to be the guy to try to fix this stuff. But I think he's coming in sort of, if you think of it like a video game, I think they're halfway through development and they're going to need to make some strong changes. I think Epic is eating their lunch.
Yeah, I think that's true. One of the things, and this may play into your speculation that Wall Street is more in charge, but I'm also thinking that some of the moves that Josh has been making seem to me to be intended to differentiate him from the previous guy. I think that a lot of people thought Josh was maybe just going to be a quiet, meek, a transitional guy who was there to be a figurehead and not really do a whole lot. And yet there are some fairly serious moves that are happening. And whether those are dictated by him or not, it does differentiate him from Iger, which I think is a positive for him. It makes him look more decisive, and it makes him look like maybe the guy does have a vision of some kind.
Yeah, and Marv, one of the things that's been interesting to me is the perspective shift in Epic. Disney, for the first time, up until Epic, and years going into the development of it, Disney said, we were ready for this all along. We've been planning for this all along. And then when Epic came out, they said, we actually think this is going to improve attendance. Finally, Bob Iger's gone, and Disney came and said the thing we expected, but never thought they would say. Epic hurt us. They called it headwinds. But they said Epic hurt us. That was the essential message.
I thought that Josh was going to toe the Bob Iger line, at least for the first year, while Bob was still serving as a consultant. He isn't at the moment, but so we're going to find out, I guess, how much of the changes in the parks when he was the head of experiences were him versus how many of them were Bob. Now, we have an article about this up on that Park Place. And so, for the other guys, I included the cruise ships and Disneyland Paris and all this other stuff. for for our friend Jeff Valley, I included the Drained Rivers of America, the Boarded Up Muppet Vision. That is his legacy. Splash Mountain being Tiana's Bayou Adventure, all of that is Jeff Valley, and that's all laid on him. So essentially, you're taking the guy from the one thing that Disney still does right in the experiences division, which is the cruise line, and you're inserting him into the most important role in the entirety of Disney experiences. Because that's the thing to remember also, that the Walt Disney World presidency is probably the biggest role you can have in experiences, aside from being the head of Disney experiences.
And you think this is the right guy to take over for Disney World?
Well, so he facilitated I found this out while I was writing the article earlier today. He facilitated the Zootopia expansion in Shanghai Disney, and that is gorgeous. He also, is in charge of the cruise line, has opened up several ships, has put them in line to have their 13 ship fleet by 2031, I think it was. But man, I gotta say, I think that it's a step in the right direction, because the cruise line is the one area where they're still doing things correctly. Now, maybe they're not hiring correctly, as we saw in California, but like, as far as like the operational stuff that they have going on, they're doing everything the right way with the cruise line. And it's to have the person that's in charge of that level of service that I got to experience on the cruise ships come into Walt Disney World, where the level of service has plummeted over the last 10 years, I think that actually could be a good thing.
I would not be surprised, too, if there's a delay in some of this stuff that's planned, especially Villains Land. I think all of this under the new leadership is going to be relooked at. Wiz, when we look at how this played out, Iger was shuffled out of the company, 9 months early? Something like that.
Right.
And now DeMauro is taking things in a very different direction, including, by the way, just to point this out, somebody that Bob Iger basically refused to call on in the earnings calls was the first person DeMauro called on. And that nobody's going to notice that except those who pay very close attention to this company. But for business insiders, that was a sign that we're not playing the way that Bob told us to anymore.
Right. And I think we're going to see more signs of that, maybe not right away, but I think in the years to come, maybe give it 2 years, because this company has been failing. Like, its stock price is down quite a bit. All of its franchises are falling apart. Universal is playing for keeps. Okay. And we know, like, there's rumors and talks of expansion into other locations, of new Universals going up in other places of the world. That's a very big deal. That's a very big deal, because it will pull people away from going to Orlando, to pull people from going to Disney World. Because even think, hey, we're going to go to Epic Universe with the family vacation. Yeah, but maybe we'll do a day in Disney. All right, well, that's Disney's still making money then. But now you're going to have Universal competing in other places of the world. That's just something to think about as well. You're pulling people away from Orlando entirely. Disney's got to do something. Also, let's consider that even, they didn't prepare for Epic Universe at all, which is there's something to be said there. In fact, they went into total renovation, pulling things out, putting new things in. There's walls up all over the park. There's Star Wars is falling apart. There's no reason really to go to Hollywood Studios unless you're going to go on Rock and Roll Roller Coaster. Oh, wait a second. That's gone too. That's gone. Right. It's under renovation. So I really think within the next 2 years, you're going to see changes somewhere, perhaps the park level. Villains Land is not going to be enough. Nope. Villains Land is appealing to a demographic that is not there anymore. The demographic that is intended to appeal to is drying up. For one reason or another, there's many. The first one off the top of my head is alcohol consumption is down across the entire United States. So that's a big problem. And then, of course, you have the people that are actually willing to pay for this, right? So your kid adults, your Disney adults, the economics are not in not in Disney's favor, that these people are going to be able to keep buying with the disposable income that they are today in 2 years. I think there's a very strong possibility that Disney has to do something, because they're finally being put in a financial position where they have to.
Yes, I totally agree. And Steph, I think it's best for Disney to really reevaluate everything, because I think the whole mood is shifted in Orlando. People just accept now that Epic is the best park. Like, it's really not a debate anymore, and Universal has completely changed the narrative. Disney needs to get back to the top spot, but they've got to make stuff, and it takes them forever to do so.
Disney used to be untouchable, right? That was the vacation spot as that you would take your families to. They used to be untouchable. They were the theme park that you like wanted to go to as a child and aimed to take your family to as an adult. They were untouchable. They could beat out everybody. And Universal has positioned themselves into such a place where they're actually competing with Disney. They saw the downfall of Disney and the fact that Disney sort of changed their brand and leaned into the Disney adults, leaned into catering to Disney adults instead of catering to families. They were like, you know what, we're going to change it. We're going to add drinking, because they didn't used to be able to drink at Epcot. They didn't used to be able to have alcohol provided at the parks, but they saw that the demographic was changing, and so they offered more drinks. Well, now, as Wizard said, like the alcohol consumption is at a decline. So what are they going to do? They've changed the way that they implement like park attractions to get millennials and Gen Zers to come to the park instead of aiming at their initial demographic, which was families. You go and you watch a Disney movie, you want to go to a Disney park, you want to meet these characters in person. And instead of seeing little children going up and seeing these characters, we're seeing adults meeting these characters in costume. And they sort of treat it as therapy, whereas Universal, they look at it as, you know what, we're going to take you guys into these movies. We're going to have the Mario Kart, the Super Mario section of the park. We're going to take you to the island of Berk and have, the How to Train Your Dragon section. You like movie monsters? We're going to have that section as well. Even like with Harry Potter. I mean, it's like walking onto the Harry Potter set. It's like you're engulfed into the world of Harry Potter. It's really the place to go if you want to, be surrounded and feel like you're in a movie. Whereas at the Disney parks, the novelty has gone downhill, especially since like the meme of the Disney adult like continues to grow. There's no respect there with all of those people who want to act as if they're 10 years old again, going to a Disney park and, LARPing as a child over there. And then you have, Disney leaning into all of their DEI policies and getting rid of the villains. I guess they're bringing them back. I don't know. But they got rid of some of the villains. You have the story about them getting rid of the evil queen because she got too popular. And I don't know. I think like Disney has sort of made all of the wrong decisions. They got rid of the Tiana, or no. Which one's the
Splash
Tiana
Mountain?
Ride? Splash Mountain. They got rid of Splash Mountain because oh no, it's racist. So let's get rid of Splash Mountain and then replace it with Tiana, but not put her in her beautiful dress. And it's this weird story of Tiana. They've made all of the wrong decisions leaning into all of the DEI policies, and Universal has kind of crept in under their noses and said, you know what, we're going to position ourselves to be better. We want to be the place that people go to. We want to be the place that you can take your family to. And I mean, they've pretty much nailed it. And I'm super upset that I wasn't able to go to Epic Universe when I was in Florida.
You were really trying to make it work.
I was so looking forward to it. I couldn't go because there were no tickets. That's how popular it is.
That's right. Well, it's turning out, folks, that getting rid of Zippity Doodah might have been the way they zipped on out the guy who helped make the decision. And it may have come from Bob, but those who followed along with what Bob said, facing an unhappy Tomorrow, and Tomorrowland is now changing rapidly at Disney. Folks, get ready because changes there are coming. Not because Disney wants to change, but because Epic just might be forcing them that way.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Now, commence Operation Vacuum Suck. Suck.
The crab people shall finally reign supreme.
Crab people.
Now, I said that we were not going to stop for super chats between the two segments, and I'm gonna maintain that. But I have to call the poll. Who had WizCoo ready? Because you had it in the background and now I don't have it. I need WizCoo back, please.
Oh, Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Because, ladies and gentlemen, at 52%, one of the closest polls I can recall, down to the buzzer beater, we're going to be checking the hanging chads in just a few minutes. Folks, it does not make us at all sad to say that Wizku has defeated Bruce Wizardson to take the win. Wiz, this is the desktop everybody's shouting about. They want it. They need it. Marv, how do we share this out so folks can use it? And how do we get glasses on the thing like Steph has?
That's a Steph question about the glasses. But
Oh, I just asked Grok to do it.
Can we get this shared out somehow, some way? We're not going to make any money off of it, but we got to. Wiz, this is all you, man. I can just see the little recycle bin in the bottom right and the icons for Windows on the left side and the start. I mean, this is a desktop. This is what people want.
You joke, but there are people that are with us tonight that will look at this every day.
Oh, no doubt.
He's not joking. He's serious.
Yeah, like the rolling green hills that used to be the background of every Windows 95 computer. This is it. And I love that you are Goku in the Shire with the little Hobbit mound beside you.
Oh, I noticed. I noticed right away.
Beautiful.
Got to have the details.
Can I just say, even though I lost, I feel like I'm making up for it with this.
What do you got? Look at how happy they are now.
Oh.
Look, they're happy again. And Pedro's sad.
Why do you have me touching him?
And look, when Wiz smiles, his eyes are even. You know what? I'm not going there. I'm not going to do it. We're not going to go there. What are you doing now? Lauren, what are you doing? Oh, you put that back. Okay.
I was just pulling it down.
All right. You had me nervous. I thought there might be something else we're going to put up on the screen. All right, folks. You've been obscenely kind tonight. We need 12 more super chats to get the AMA for The Mandalorian and Grogu on Thursday night. We've got one final story. We know we can do it. But folks, we're just happy for all of your support regardless. Let's dive in. It's the last one. Kathleen Kennedy is yet again, but maybe for one of the last times, the topic of tonight's show. And I mean this now. As we do this, it would be very easy for us to be like, it's another Kathy story. Boys and girls, we might be at the end of Kathleen Kennedy stories. Look how happy Lauren is. Look at that joy. He's like, oh, I've been waiting years. I've been waiting years for no more Kathy stories. This is getting close to the end of it. Andy, what did you?
Well, I was going to say, eventually we'll get one more story.
Andy, don't you do that, Wicked Witch of the West. Kathy, keep your slippers on, okay? We're not hoping for that. Kathy, keep your slippers on. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at what we got right here. Kathleen Kennedy and Pedro Pascal, a duo that destroyed any enthusiasm for The Mandalorian. And to figure this out, we have to go back to March. I want to show you how even as Kathy was exiting Lucasfilm, they were destroying the box office for Mando. Variety was covering this, and we're going to get down to the quote that started killing the entire effort. Kathleen Kennedy, by Matt Donnelly, on Lucasfilm handoff, AI boundaries, and the one power Grogu won't have in the new Mandalorian movie. Now, we're going to just skip on down to what we need. Kathleen Kennedy, venerable filmmaker, prolific producer, blah, 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 blah. Sound helps root the story, blah, blah. She got an award for, like, sound or something. Nobody cares. I've been incredibly lucky. Steve and I spent so much time together on ET. Here's what we need.
Exactly how he likes his coffee.
Backstage, Kennedy spoke with Variety about the upcoming May release of The Mandalorian and Grogu. 2 months ago, she was doing this, which she greenlit. And she also serves as producer. Asked what it was like the first time she heard Grogu speak, she shared that the little green guy is, quote, another perfect example of a character that has to emote and you have to feel connected to, and he never speaks a word. Kennedy said audiences will fall deeper in love with the popular character on the big screen, and he never says a word. She confirmed that despite Yoda's oft-quoted broken English, Grogu will not gain the power of speech in the new film. This was the beginning of them dismissing any hope for character growth or change. And these things are not hard, folks. I'm telling you, this is 101 on how not to promote a film. Pedro Pascal came in later on. May 15th, Pedro says he wants to keep playing The Mandalorian as long as fans want him. Now, why would you not say this, okay? Everybody knows the answer to this. Let's read it real quick. And by the way, shout out to Clara Migliardo for writing this for spoiler.bowlavip.com. Never been here before, but happy to be here. It says Pedro is not ready to walk away from the galaxy far, far away anytime soon. In a recent interview with Discussing Film, the actor spoke about his long-term hopes for Mandalorian, making it clear he would gladly continue to play the role if viewers still want the character around. The comments arrive as Lucasfilm prepares to bring the TV phenom to theaters with The Mandalorian and Grogu. Quote, whatever my body can do and however long people want to experience these characters is how long I want it to last.
I'm sorry, whatever his body can do? When's the last time he wore the suit during production of this show? He's a glorified voice actor.
It's hard to be a voice actor, Marv. The work it does on your shoulders, it's unbelievable.
I could have sworn I saw a quote from him that says, like, as long as I'm able to do it or the person who's in the suit is able to do it.
Right,
I could have sworn I saw a quote like that from him.
So here's the deal. This is 101, okay? When Kathy comes out and says Grogu's not going to speak, what does that tell us? We don't even get a da-da. We don't even get anything, right? The Force. We don't get anything. And that's all that tension's taken out then, okay? Then Pedro comes out and adds to it, I'm going to keep on playing this guy because my character doesn't die. The entire lead up to this, and I can go on. Dave Filoni has been involved in this, talking about how, well, we wanted this to live on its own and be separate from everything. And you need to come into it. You don't have to watch The Mandalorian at all. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. They have intentionally, going into this movie, they have removed all the stakes every step of the way. They have made sure that we know nothing bad is going to happen. No character development is going to go on. We're going nowhere with this one. Lauren, you're the guru of Star Wars for the world, a gift to us. Lauren, I turn to you. What do you make of how they have promoted this film? Is it terrible, or am I missing something? Maybe you say, well, Pro, they need to let people know this is not going to damage Star Wars The Mandalorian.
No, they don't. That's the whole point of a story, is that you're trying to figure out what the actual arc is. That's the journey. You go to a movie to experience the journey, not to know what the end point is before you've even seen it. Their entire marketing campaign for this entire thing, with the exception, I think, of when Jon Favreau was having people show up to show them the props at the Quonset huts where they were shooting, that, I think, was fairly effective. The rest of it has been garbage. They have mismanaged this entire promotional campaign for this movie.
Super Bowl ad 2, clearly approved under Kathleen Kennedy while she was there.
Yeah. They had one decent trailer for this movie. It was the one that they never actually released. It was shown at Star Wars Celebration. Why they didn't show that trailer, I have no idea. I don't get what they were thinking here. What I'm reading it as is, I think that they've been really spooked even before they got to the box office numbers for this movie. I think they were spooked by The Acolyte. I think they were spooked by how negative the coverage of the sequel trilogy has gone. I think they decided they wanted to play this movie as safe as humanly possible. And weirdly, that's also the wrong move. I don't know how they choose to make the wrong move every single time, but they do.
They do. There's no doubt about it. Wiz, there are no stakes anymore. We know, and it's not, we didn't spoil this. They spoiled it. Mando's not going to die. He's going to keep going on. He's going to stay with Grogu. We know Grogu's not going to say a single word. We know that this has nothing to do with anything related beyond the story that it exists in. We essentially know that nobody's going to show up that matters. Like, there are no big cameos. All this has been spoiled by them. So, Wiz, what are they trying to tank the box office? I don't get it.
No, I think this was a calculated decision, but boy, they are bad at math because they think that by making this easy for anybody to walk into, you don't need to have watched the Disney Plus stuff. You don't need to do all the homework. You don't need to have read any books. You could just walk in off the street and kids are going to love it. In fact, they're not only are they playing this that anybody can watch it, anybody can consume this, but it's also an attempt to introduce these characters to Gen Alpha, which is a demographic that Disney is having a terribly challenging time of appealing to. And for Star Wars to continue, they can't just sell it to the Disney adults. They eventually need to capture the kids as customers, as parties that are interested in Star Wars. So they have to do something to try to capture them, and they got to do it now. That's why, there's 10 minutes of Mandalorian and Grogu footage available for you to watch in Fortnite, I think, right now. Like, as we're talking about this, you could see the first 10 minutes of the film in Fortnite because that's where the kids are, and that's where they need to try and get kids interested to go with mom and dad to see this. But there are no stakes, and that's a massive problem. They could have and probably should have treated this like, okay, we're gonna come into this as its own thing, but at least do something to hint at or to, not as a setup per se, because I do like the idea of having a beginning and an ending, but it's got to have some kind of meaning behind it. You got to have a reason to actually go see the thing. And right now, there's no reason to see this because I know it's going to end the same way that Mando 3 did. It might as well just like be an in between. It's gonna start with Mando on the farm. It's gonna end with Mando on the farm. That's it. This is using the more leftovers from Filoni's Clone Wars that most of the audience and most of you at home aren't even going to recognize. And for those of us that do recognize it, maybe Lauren aside, Lauren might say something different. I don't care. I recognize it, and I don't care.
So I've noticed with Disney Star Wars, you got one of two things. Either it's a movie that takes absolutely no risks and plays it entirely safe to the point where it actually, gives something very milquetoast and bland, or it takes a wrecking ball to George Lucas's lore and just goes. There's one of the two extremes. There's no one can ever meet in the middle. It's either The Force Awakens and Skeleton Crew, or it's The Last Jedi and the Acolyte. And this seems to be on the Force Awakens side.
I didn't know this. You got maybe the panel is just smarter than I am about this. I cover entertainment all the time. I had no idea that there was like Polymarket kind of for Rotten Tomatoes, and that people are guessing and measuring based on social media responses what the Rotten Tomato score is going to be. Did anybody know this? Have I been clued?
Funny.
I've
got it right now.
I've been trying to guess what I think it was going to be.
According to reading the tea leaves of the social media, what should we say here? Reactions, but they're still embargoed. Cauchy's Rotten Tomato forecast, which looks at all of the social media responses and gauges positive to negative as best they can tell, is predicting based on all of the reactions that this thing's going to open to a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I don't know.
Is this forecasting the critic score or the audience score?
Critic score.
Okay.
And it's all critic score.
I don't think there's a chance that it's that low.
I'm betting against this. I'm making lots of money. I know that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I said 96 for the critics.
Oh,
I think
no.
I think the Access show.
I think it's got to be in the 90s.
Really?
I'm with Marv. I think it's going to be in the 90s. They're already astroturfing this.
You think what they're going to do is they're going to give a very mid review, but then give it the tomato instead of the splat. After you read it and go, boy, they hate this thing, and then you get to the end, they're like, but overall, it's an okay movie. So
they're going to say like, it wasn't bad, and then that's going to be a positive.
If the trades are responding to us in like retaliation articles, somebody's got the heads up.
I had no. This has got to be. Folks, this has got to be a parody. This can't be real. News, sports, 2026 primaries, markets featured. There is a forecast for the Rotten. This can't be real.
Look, the praise that we are hearing about the movie so far is that it's inoffensive. When that's the best thing that you can say about a movie, that's really, really bad.
I'm just happy that there's a pre-market betting system for Rotten Tomato scores. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy like this is real. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Andy, Steph, your thoughts? What do you say? Is this thing going to open up despite the marketing, despite Kathleen Kennedy, despite Pedro, despite Dave? Does it get a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes because Hollywood says this can't fail?
I mean, I've seen some of the early critic reviews on Hollywood Reporter, and they're all saying you can throw the lore out the window, you can have fun with it. Don't think about it too much, you'll have fun with it. lower your expectations and it's a good movie. So if they give reviews like that and then give it a high Rotten Tomato score, I will honestly, well, I won't be shocked because I mean that's pretty much what they do. But I would say that like maybe I don't know about the 90s Rotten Tomato score, maybe like the upper 80s, like an 88 or something, but not a 90. There's no way.
I just want everybody to know this. This is real. Kalshi News is a real place for polling and betting, and it's real. And they're doing like, you know, the primaries for Massey, right? For Thomas Massey. And this is real.
I could see them going 80. I think they'll try and split the baby by 80. I think is
now I'm looking forward to going to the movie. Really? He's going to force undisembowel himself.
Isn't that what the Empire tried to do with him?
Andy, what if it's so bad? What if it's actually so bad they can't?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It would take, you know, even if it's horrible, they would still give it like a 75 to 80 because they just don't want to lose the access. They like being the one that everybody goes to in Hollywood, the one that everyone in Hollywood goes to that says, look, Rotten Tomatoes gave us this score. Is it real? Like, if it were real, then like Blaine wouldn't have made Criticalist because people would have trusted Rotten Tomatoes. So that's
right. And I totally agree. But what if, just play along, folks, what if it's Snow White bad? They would have loved to have defended Snow White. They couldn't. They had to bail. They had to pull the ripcord and say, we can't.
I don't think it's going to be that offensively bad. I think it's going to be...
Because Favreau made it, yeah.
I think it's going to be very meh. I think it's going to be completely, like, I don't think it's going to be offensive in any way. I think it's just going to be like, yeah, it was you know, like a couple episodes of the TV show and it happened. And, you know, you won't be, like, you know, unhappy. But you won't be happy.
I will like maybe an 80, like an 88, high 80s. Because they still need to glaze, you know, Favreau and Pedro Pascal. Like we have to glaze their reputations.
Well, Pedro came out as gay in the last week or so he's Teflon right now.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, he smooched Colbert right on the lips, and he's got a boy toy in Spain now that he's been, you know, toying around with in Spain. I don't know if he came out and said, "Hey, boys and girls, I'm, you know, I'm swinging in this way," but you know,
I got to say. I think you're being kinder to Favreau than we need to be. Yeah, I do. I'm at a point where I'm not willing to give him cover anymore either.
I'll tell you why I'm being kind to him, okay? I'm being kind to Favreau because he didn't write the script. He is credited as having written the script because he wrote season 4. Filoni and some other guy that I can't remember came in and adapted this for the film, and then readapted the script again to strip out all references to other Star Wars stuff. And the reason I'm being kind to Favreau is he didn't write the story. If it's a horrible, terrible, boring story, but executed as well as you could, then I'm sitting here saying, I don't know what we do with this other than say Filoni is off his rocker.
Look, I get your point, but I feel like there was a point, even if he's under contract, where you created this. You made it a phenomenon. There was a point at which he could have put his foot down and said, no, you're not going to do what you're planning to do. And he did not do that. And he has continued to be the company man, which I understand from a certain standpoint. But at this point, he has buried his baby. And I think at a certain point, you needed to stand on principle and say, I'm not going to do this.
Well, now, wait a minute, Lauren, because let me push back one more time. And you may beat me, okay? Because when we go head to head intellectually, sometimes you're the kind of guy who can make me see the light. But Lauren, I watched what Favreau said, and it dawned on me, because I've been wondering the same thing you've been wondering now for years. Why does he subject himself? This is a guy who has one of the most financially profitable films of all time. He has one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time. He created the MCU. Don't let Kevin Feige tell you otherwise. Why would he subject himself to being directed by Kathleen Kennedy and controlled by a guy who's never really put out a film in reality in Filoni? Why would he do this? Why would Spielberg allow himself to be told what to do by somebody lesser than, right? Okay. And then I watched what he said before the premiere, and the light bulb went off. Favreau is doing what he's doing, I believe, because this is the thing he loves from his father. This is why he got into cinema. And I think he's trying to save it, and I think he's been subverted the whole way. But this is why. I'll play it. We played it before. We'll play it one more time. Here's Favreau talking about why the heck he made the movie.
Across the world that George Lucas created, we're still telling Star Wars stories. The baton has been passed down to other filmmakers, but here we are. Hopefully we'll get some of that magic and some of that energy here. And I also want to say a big special thank you, because back 49 years ago, I got to see Star Wars when I was 10 years old, and that movie changed my life from that first shot. And my dad took me to see it. I sat by his side. He pointed things out, explained to me how cool it was that the X-Wings had oil stains. He later taught me about Kurosawa and all the influences, Hidden Fortress, all the influences. And opened the door for me to love not just Star Wars, but cinema. And I sat by my dad's side 49 years ago watching Star Wars for the first time, and tonight I'm getting to sit next to my dad and watch this movie.
So, Lauren, my thesis on why Favreau has allowed himself to be subjected to all this, I think the reason he called Disney and said, I think I can help you with this back in 2018, 2019, I think the reason he did it is I think he's trying to save a memory with his dad. I think this is a foundational thing for him. I think he loves it the way that other people love it, and he's been trying to save it, and unsuccessfully because he's had people in his way.
I agree with you. I think that The Mandalorian season 1 and 2 showed that he was a fan and that he knew what he was talking about and he knew what he was doing. I have been able to forgive him for the Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian season 3 because I think that what happened with Gina forced them onto a timeline where control was taken away from him and he did not have a choice. And I think season 3 showed them this was not the way, if you'll pardon me borrowing the phrase. The movie was the chance to correct. And you're telling me they took it away from him, they wrote it fine. At a certain point, you've got to put your foot down and say, we tried it your way. You sabotaged the arc that we were setting up. If you're going to continue down this path, I'm not going to market it. I'm not going to attach my name to it. This is not my name. This is not my movie. This is not my story. And he didn't do that. That's why I'm no longer willing to give him any more rope. He had a chance to throw his weight down onto the table. And he may have lost, but he didn't. He played ball.
And now, folks, it's up to you. Tell us in the chat, tell us in the comments. Where's that at? Where do you see the truth lie? Lauren, my side a little bit different, but folks, we all agree something went deeply wrong. Tell us down below who holds most of the blame. And I know you're all going to say KK, but then besides that, who holds most of the blame? We'll see what you have to say. Boy, oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, we have gone way past the marker that we usually do. And I want to apologize to the panelists. They come here with an expectation that I'm going to get them out of here at a certain time. And we just kept on cruising and cruising. And partly because those later stories had interesting conversations attached to them. I didn't know we were going to go where we went with that last one. But I do want to apologize to the panelists. But for those in the audience who are like, no, GoPro, go. We'll go to 3 a.m. Look at Wiz. He's like, please don't. Please, just don't do that. All right, Wiz is taking it on the chin today, and he's going to again. Woodsy is there for 5. Wiz the Asian Beardo.
Beardo-san.
No. Wiz is actually on F&T. So
nice reversal.
Oh my gosh. KO.
Sorry, Beardo. It's a bad week for you, buddy.
Shots fired. Oh.
England DG for 20. Universal has spent years building their own bubble. Disney is destroying it. Started with Meg, never thought I'd say I miss her, and included cruises in the bubble as it used to be a great value to go do a few park days and a cruise. And I got to say, the more expensive these things get, the more they're cannibalizing each other. Like, people can't afford to do the cruise and the park, so the attendance is being pulled from both sides. Paul, 12,000 for 2. Alcohol consumption down. Great news. Good news, everyone.
Epcot is still the absolute worst. But when it comes to alcohol, like I won't go to Epcot at night usually because it's just stumbling drunk people crying and throwing up.
Drinking down the world. Paul, 12,000 for 2. It was Walt Disney's rule, he said himself. No drinks. It's a dry mouse. England DG for 5. Steph is wrong. Drinking was always allowed at Epcot. It wasn't allowed at Magic Kingdom. Initially, the drinks were only at full-service restaurants, however.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Magic Kingdom was a dry park because Disneyland was a dry park, and then when they added Epcot, they started doing the drink around the world stuff. But it didn't become like the complete identity of the park until the last 10 years.
There you go. MJ's got an update, and this is a good one for $9.99. Pro and Lauren update. I did ask her to marry me at the Polynesian, where our first day was. She said yes. Currently on a train to Tokyo Disneyland, we need the Korean cheerleaders. Hail WDW Pro. MJ, with news like that, how could we ever say no?
Clap it up, light it up, feel that roar. We shine brighter, we want more. Hearts in the stands, hands in the air, all for the name that we all share. W-I-M, T-H-O-M-P-S-O-N, William Thompson, that's our man.
Those are actually all Wizard sisters.
You know what?
Secretly
cross-promoting. I think I've had it. I think that was it. I've been trying to hold my tongue. You guys, all of you out there, all the chat watching, everybody thinks, oh, Steph is so nice. Oh, she's on the G&G streams, and maybe she's a little intense on the Mario Kart. You know, she's been sending me pictures while we're as she's making wizard pictures. Look at this.
Oh, Steph, we gotta have you on more often. This is great.
I wish I thought of that.
Yeah.
Love you more now than we did yesterday. This is
Got your grief on my own show first.
Can we sign her to a normal panelist? Just regular every single show. Hey, could you
sculpt that?
Yeah, just leave that where it is. Andy's taking notes. England for 5. Disney doesn't understand. It's not marketing to kids on their platforms. It's real influence. My mom got me into Asimov, Star Wars, Star Trek, and more. Very, very well said. Superfly for 5. Can I give an RIP to Tom Kane? Legendary voice actor, will be missed. And I'll tell you, of all the roles that Tom Kane did you know that Tom Kane is the voice that says, please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejada de las puertas.
Really?
He's the monorail voice.
Wow.
Yep.
Huh. Professor Utonium is the monorail voice. I had no idea.
I believe he's been the monorail voice since 2015 or 16, sometime around there. Please stand clear of the doors. England DG for 5. My wife's comment. Why should we go see it when it will be on Disney Plus in a month? And this is part of their issue in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Marv, was I right on that? He's the voice of the monorail?
I don't know. It's the first time I heard it.
I think he is. Cannon Barnes for 5. Pardon my French, everyone, but looking for group. Spurs win 122-115 in double overtime. 1 game down, 3 to go. There you go, everybody. Go Spurs, go. And again, I'll say,
is that a sport?
From way back in the day, I miss Manu. And Tony Parker with every flop, every layup's got to come with a flop, and TP hanging off the rim in the beginning of every game. But hey, been watching those Spurs for a while. Popovich made it hard to do so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are wrapping this up because we've had a great time, but we got more time to spend with you tomorrow. Come hang out with us at the Pro Show at noon Eastern. And Wiz, Marv, what are you guys doing tomorrow? You doing anything tomorrow? We doing a show tomorrow? What's going down? What's going up?
Lauren and I got the M4cast AM leading into the Pro Show tomorrow morning. And then I'll be on the Pro Show, and Wiz and I have Culture Crossfire again Thursday morning at 9:30 a.m.
Where you can find, ladies and gentlemen, artwork such as this. It's just beautiful.
We've added glasses, and it's currently up on X. I tagged you all in it.
Okay, it's tagged. Okay. Hang on. Let's see if we can find this. Am I tagged?
Insane. You are tagged.
We're 50 minutes overtime, and it's just because we're abusing me. Great.
Actually,
Love it.
it's
Well,
made
well,
the show much more enjoyable.
While he searches, I also have a new video out about Pedro.
Folks, get it today. Download this today. And a new story about Pedro, you say, Marv?
Yeah, I have a video up titled "Disney Has a Pedro Pascal Problem." So
Well, that'll be covered by Deadline, I'm sure, tomorrow, because that's just the way things are going these days, as people suddenly realize, hey, the new media that Park Place Geeks and Gamers is taking over, baby. Andy Masterson, what are you making?
Usually trouble.
Yeah, I know, but who's the next who's the next action figure? What are you going to make next?
Well, I'm still waiting for pictures from Marv.
Right, I have to do that. You're right. Sorry.
I'm currently working on yet an updated Mexican Iron Man head and another project for him. After that, I'm going to be working on a Culture Casino comic book.
When it comes to Mexican Iron Man, is he going to be in the full Mexican Iron Man cape and all that kind of stuff? Does he?
Oh no, he's in suave territory now. He's got the hair slicked back. He's like, hey ladies.
James Bond. I got you. Mexican Bond. Steph, My Nerdy Home, you're on all the time, but the folks out there might not know where they can find you. Tell them, please.
You can find me on Geeks Gamers Daily every Wednesday morning, also on my YouTube channel, My Nerdy Home. And I stream mostly over there. I don't really put out videos anymore. I probably should get back into that. But other than that, you can also find me on Geeks Gamers Play every Wednesday evening, playing whatever game we're going to be playing against Marv.
You're getting your butt handed to you.
Blue shells from hell. All right, Lauren, you're the last one up. What's up with you?
We'll have a Lauren and Apollo show tomorrow night, and we'll be tracing the genealogical roots of real-life fake wizard, trying to find out how his family migrated from Japan and the Isles. I'm hoping to have a great time with it. So make sure you all show up.
Weirdly enough, we found that he's actually from every single Asian country.
I love
he's
this.
He's like the super Asian. Yeah.
He's the super Asian. I love this so much. I love this so much.
He's actually both Vietnamese and North Vietnamese. South and North Korean.
All right, folks, I want to say a huge thank you and apologize again to the panel for holding you guys over. We try not to do that. It happened tonight, and we'll fix it next time. But, folks, I want to say a huge thank you. We've had some issues behind the scenes with some glitches at YouTube gone, and it's so nice to see so many of you out there getting the notifications again, topping 1,000 concurrent viewers tonight across the platforms, and things are getting back to normal, viewership going back up on the channel. And I just want to say one more time to everybody, we don't like to harp on this, but because we don't harp on it, most people didn't know this community kept the channel afloat while we were being afflicted by something we didn't even know about until YouTube looked at it and said, hey, there's something going on here. We got to clear this out for you guys. And the viewership shot back up. But this community, man, is the greatest online. And we can never say thank you enough. Folks, it's time. We just can't keep going on. Let's see. Super chats are clear. All minds and hearts clear. Ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye to tonight. 8 minutes away until a Tuesday, and we're on our way.
But for me, it was Tuesday.
Nuh-uh, 8 more minutes. We'll see you soon, folks. Take care.
The mainstream media just can't understand how it is we continue to do what we do. They don't realize that we are powered by you, and you are...
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Folks, we've still got decades and decades left in the can. It drives the mainstream mad.
Would it make you feel any better if you knew that what we're asking Matt here to do is a holy thing?
You see, we're on a mission from God. We're on a mission from God.
Now you're gonna put me right back in the joint.
They're not gonna catch us. We're on a mission from God.
So, folks, as we always say, as we end each and every show here, and we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Every time they hit him, he stood back up again. So they hit him harder. Still, he got back to his feet. Standing man.
You guys, man. Bunch of jerks.